started. Last time we were all together for the wilds of Valandiir, crown collectors embarked on a epic journey of redemption and revenge, and a way to clear their names from the Empire's kind of blacklist in the form of the Onyx Order's High Inquisitors, basically charging you guys to go on a murder mission in order to kind of clear out what began as a beneficial relationship with this gang called the Breakers, which was an offshoot of the Sapphire, a larger organization within the Empire. And for some reason or another, they ran afoul of the Empire and they needed to go. And fortunately, you guys happened to run into them a few times, and it seemed pretty self-explanatory that these were people that you had no problem in ending. When you confronted them at their hideout, Stonehelm Keep, the leader of this group, Tor, a large Goliath fighter barbarian, issued a warning that taking their heads to the High Inquisitor would perhaps not yield the results that you assumed. And immediately disregarding that warning, you fought to the death and came out victorious. Severing their heads from their shoulders, collecting them, and getting ready to leave, you scouted the area and found the keys to the castle, so to speak, quite literally, and began searching the rooms of this fortress. You found many of the rooms to be sort of empty. It looked like they were kind of squatting. However, one room in the basement proved extraordinarily intriguing, and that was that of a golden door in the basement, right adjacent of the laboratory and the transportation circle. A series of strange arcane locks that had an irregular and illogical movement to them. It was difficult to form any kind of pattern and try to figure them out. And that's where we left off. So, you find yourselves, I believe, at the first floor of the keep. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of everybody. And we don't necessarily have to put minis on the map, but you guys can definitely point out where you are, or where you'd like to go, what you'd like to do, and we'll go from there. Because if I remember correctly, you went upstairs to this floor and scouted that out pretty well. I think you looked in all of the rooms.
This is where we left.
Was it the second floor? Okay, perfect.
I believe it was this floor. I mean, somebody can please correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember, we were here.
Okay. I will say that yes, this floor has been scavenged as far as loot. There is nothing else of value in this portion of the castle. And there are, each of these rooms has a staircase that goes up and down. So, Crown Collectors, what would you like to do?
Maybe we should explore the stairs upwards?
I think so. Those are probably going to be the guard towers, the guard posts, but we need to make sure that there's not anybody watching up high.
Okay.
So I'll go up this one up here in the top right corner.
Okay. I do not have a map for these floors. I'll just say this. Everybody who goes up a tower, they're relatively empty. The dimensions are exactly the same, width and length and everything. There's only one way up and one way down. There's, rubbish, scattered bits of wood and stone. Some of the roofs have not caved in per se, but definitely have shown signs of wear and tear. It definitely looks like this keep was perhaps built to last, even though it's definitely older than the previous keep that you guys infiltrated. That one was crumbling almost to the foundations. And it just seems like this place was built stronger, so the roof is in some need of repair. It looks like it is falling in a couple spots. There's little ribbons of daylight, but for the most part, the place is pretty solid, if not in need of a bit of cleanup. There's kind of Looks like the breakers have kind of made it their own dump as well as living space. And the top floors are really no different, although there are several arrow slits in the walls. There's no stained glass window like there are in the floor beneath you, and it just looks like a pretty formidable way to defend the castle against anybody that would try to besiege the.
Okay, but they're all unmanned.
They are. Every one of them is empty. It seems like in the night when you guys were sleeping and you noticed those 3 individuals kind of tiptoe into the basement laboratory. Once they saw that all of their more powerful compatriots were dead, they skedaddled and got out of there. And you haven't really gotten a feeling that there was any movement in the keep besides yourselves.
Okay. Well, then what do you say we all regroup to the main staircase and finish scouting out the first floor?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's bring you back there.
Okay.
Yep, you find yourself at the foot of the stairs, a little bit of blood on the floor as it appears this is the exit that Ryan made on her escape from you while she was injured.
And we'll just go ahead and just go to the center and scout out each of the 4 corners.
Okay. Right about here is the body of Violetta. She's the tiefling warlock that you have already decapitated. Smattering of bodies from their thugs kind of all over the place. You have the run of the place. You don't see anybody or hear anybody with anybody's passive wisdom. Would you guys like to explore?
Let's go over here first.
Okay. So these doors are both closed.
Okay.
Closed
Now,
and locked, I should say.
Akir and Dre are still technically with us.
Oh, yes, they are.
Okay. So I guess if they could, inspect for traps and if any doors are locked, they could attempt to pick them.
Okay.
Baronor might need some practice doing that too from time to time.
Yep.
No time. Go for it.
Oh, you want to roll for Atgear?
Sure. Let me bring up his sheet real quick. Alright, what am I rolling?
Investigation.
Alright. Ooh, that's a natural 20.
Oh.
So that's a 25.
Alright. And how about Baronor? Steph, are you rolling for bogey today?
I am. Just so that we are aware, Baronor has a touch of the laryngitis and won't be talking much.
Aww.
23.
Alright, both of you notice that your respective doors, they are trapped. It appears to be, as you inspect the threshold of these doors, that there looks like a very thin, barely perceptible sort of fishing line that stretches from the door handle down underneath and the door and disappears.
Well, I'm going to get out of this room. I don't want to get caught in any type of trap.
Yuno's going to walk over and just cast Knock.
Okay. Which door?
Let's go with this one.
Alright, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
That is going to be a 21.
21. You take half of 3 points, which is 1, of poison damage as an arrow comes from what looks above your head. It looks like some kind of a slit or a hole. As the door swings open, the trap springs, and you hear, and it just kind of grazes your cheek, and you take 1 point of poison damage. The arrow sinks into the floor and kind of disintegrates as it hits solid stone.
My ward does.
That door is now open.
Just
Right. just reveal this guy right here.
And then I'm going to cast... I'm going to take 11 minutes, and I'm going to cast Alarm as a ritual, and return that hit point to my ward.
Okay. Well, while you begin that incantation, you see the room before you. It's filled with crates and boxes and rubbish. The staircase leading up to that room, it looks intact, and it doesn't look like this room was used so much for dwelling as it was just storing stuff.
I guess I'll rummage through there to see what I can find.
Yeah, sure. Give me investigation.
I hate investigation.
Don't look for stuff.
But I want stuff.
5. I mean, aside from, basically you find that there's garbage and closed crates. And the crates seem a little hard to open, and at this point, you don't really feel inclined to open them to look unless you want to destroy them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother. Nothing seems interesting for me.
What else? What are we doing, folks?
Let's
All
go
right,
down. Let's go down to the southwest room.
Okay, yep, that door's locked, and as I said before, it is trapped. And Drea is going to go ahead and, with her husband's help, approach the door gently, and she's going to attempt to pick the lock with a very cool set of, brass-covered thieves' tools. And, ooh, she got a 23, so yeah, you see her kind of disarm that trap, and there's like a hook, like a fish hook almost, attached to the door handle, and she just very gently holds one portion of the string, and then unhooks that attachment, and lets it dangle, and then very gingerly reaches under the door and feels where it's attached. You can see her kind of snip the wire and just let it sit, and just looks up and waits for something to happen. She's gonna then try to unlock the door. Oh, that's a natural 20. Yeah, no problem. She looks like she
Great
doesn't
rolls
really
today.
do much. Yeah, looks like she just kind of slips into the lock, turns it once, and pulls it out, and it's done. And this room, that's hiding. There's that room. It looks a little more stuffed with garbage than the room prior, but there are a few tables with what look like scratches in them. There's a few crates, not a lot, but they are unopened. And a staircase going up.
Check those crates.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
I'm going to have Adgear help you so you can do it at advantage.
All right. There's my second. Let me give me my second roll. All right. 22.
All right. The rubbish is rubbish. The big pile over here. It's about 20 feet across. It's just looks like they dumped garbage from. There's shredded clothing, and there's there's broken weapons and busted wood and food scraps and stuff. But inside of that rubbish pile, you do find a what looks like a kind of a leather bracelet, and it's not super fancy, but it's like, of all the things in here, it's the only thing that doesn't seem to really fit. And it's got an interesting kind of filigree leaf pattern carved into it with what could be perhaps ink or some kind of dark material kind of rubbed into the carving so that it stands out. And as you kind of pick it up, you feel it sort of not vibrate in your hands, but there's some kind of aura that you can feel that there's something there. Something about it, it feels different.
All right.
There are two completely unopened crates here that when you open them up, and it takes a little bit of effort, but you get them open, you find a full crate of barley. However they transport or store barley, I don't know if it's in sacks or bundles, but an entire crate's worth of barley, which you guys can use you can process into like oatmeal or barley meal used for rations. There is a crate of what looks like vegetables like carrots and celery and leeks and there's tubers in there and potatoes. It's like a whole mishmash of different vegetables. And the other one is partially open and everything inside is rotten. You can't even really tell what it was. It stinks. It smells like bad vegetables, and it doesn't look like anything of value is in there.
Okay.
On this table, you find a carving, and it's kind of like diamond shaped with a cross in the middle. And I will have Baranor go ahead and roll history for me, if you will. Steph, please. Oh, music.
Fabulous. He did a great job.
Let's see.
Well, we're keeping in line with our history checks from last session.
Yeah.
We don't know shit about what's happening in the past. All we know is the here and now.
Well, I'll say this, okay? He kind of cocks his head a little bit and looks down and realizes that's definitely some kind of thieves' cant. Not exactly sure what it is, though, what it means, but it definitely is the language of thieves.
Interesting.
And Drea and Akir.
Yeah, Akir's gonna walk up and try and read it.
Okay, Drea is actually not in this room yet. She's still upstairs, making her way down.
Well, she picked the lock.
Oh no, wait, she did. I'm gonna say she's probably looking over here. Like you guys are not all traveling to the same place in a big bunched group. Like these halls are huge. There's lots to see. So she opened the door and she's busying herself elsewhere. So let's get
Okay, so no Drea, but what about Akir?
Yeah, let's have Akir roll.
Akir's gonna roll.
Okay.
So, what is this?
This would be history.
Okay. Where'd my d20 go? There it is.
And since you're reading some kind of thieves' cant, you can add his proficiency bonus.
Yep.
I doubt he's proficient in history. I gotta find a way to isolate the music on this song and get rid of the stupid intro.
Ooh. That's a... Sorry, I can't do math right now. 9.
9. Yeah, not to say it's in a language he doesn't understand, but unfortunately, this is just a symbol that eludes both Adgir and Baranor. Perhaps it's a kind of like a shorthand that they are both never had to use within their thieving lives before. For whatever reason, it's just escaping. However, I will give me a couple minutes, and I'll post something in the chat, and you guys can jot it down and ask about it later, perhaps. Just give me a couple minutes. The rest of the room is empty, and there's a staircase that goes up to that first room.
Okay, let's go ahead and cross the main hallway and go over to the eastern rooms.
Okay. Which one would you like to approach first?
Southeast.
Southeast. All right. This door is wide open, not locked.
All right, let's see what we got in there. Can I roll with an investigation with advantage again this time?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll help you.
All right. All right, 23. Thanks for the help.
23. All right. This room is pretty bare. There are a couple crates. You crack them open, and one of them looks like it has fine. What do you call it? Not flatware. Silverware, I guess. Fine silverware packed neatly into linen cloth wraps. It looks like perhaps it doesn't look like something they've used. Perhaps they've stolen it and are storing it here for later use. You can put in there that there is 150 silver worth of silverware. They are in excellent condition. They don't look damaged or scratched. Looks like they've been well kept.
All right.
And that's really the only thing of value in here. The other crate is open, and everything inside has been exposed to the air. It looks like there's some rusty implements or tools that have been rusted into, to the point where they're damaged at this point. Doesn't even look like there's anything scrap worthy. That crate, by the way, is older than the other two, and it's shoved up against the wall. It looks like it's been here a lot longer.
The silverware with the flatware?
No, the one with the rusted implements.
Okay. That's been here a while, okay. All right. Same story, next room.
Okie doke. The other door is closed and locked.
All right. Actor wish to apply his trade again?
This time Dre is going to kind of guide his hand, and definitely seems like his wife is the more competent thief of the two of them. At least she has more skill. So you can have Actor roll at advantage, Noah.
Alrighty. Ooh, I needed that. That's much better. 24.
24. The door is not trapped, as you are very lucky that you did not choose to do that first. But the door pops open, and it is the fourth and final room of this keep. Pretty similar. It looks like the first floor of this whole keep was mostly storage, although you will note in your traveling through, this area looked like it had scratches on the table, like somebody had eaten here recently. It looks like a much more medium humanoid creature size table, as opposed to everything else in this place that is specifically designed for giants. Everything is taller. The countertops are a little taller than you're used to, things like that. But the table looked pretty regular. These over here, there's three large comfortable chairs. They're a little torn up. They look like they haven't been well respected, but they are at least newer than everything else in the place. And that's kind of those are the only two places in the whole joint that look like they've had any use on this floor. Everything else has been used for storage, it seems. And this room's no different. There's a few crates, couple tables, and a couple piles of rubbish and rubble kind of pushed into the corners. Pretty atypical of what you've seen. Here's that thieves' cant picture. Yeah, send that up. Yeah. There you go.
Whoa. What does it mean?
Okie
Alright, so what now?
Well, didn't we need to head back for a competition or something?
There's a closet over there we haven't looked at yet.
Yeah, this closet right over here.
Uh-huh. There is no door. You just simply walk around a kind of alcove, and you find counters made of stone. You find what looks like a pantry, a small, or not quite a hearth, sort of like a pizza oven. It's up about 4 feet in the air, built into the wall, used for cooking. There's pantries that don't look like they've ever been used, at least not in the past 50, 60 years, perhaps. And you get the sense that this is the kitchen, where whoever was working for the giants that originally dwelled here. You get the feeling like this room was made for medium-sized humanoids, that perhaps they had service staff that were your size.
This is the northeast room we're talking about still, correct?
This is right here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And it looks like a very simple kitchen. There are cutting implements that are kind of hanging from iron hooks, and everything made of metal in here is rusting and kind of withering away. Surprisingly, no food. And yeah, you guys can consider this keep 95% fully explored. Exception of one room basement.
One little bitty room.
Yeah.
Plot twist, that's where all the treasure was hidden. They just shoved it in a corner.
No, it's probably a door to another plane of existence or something.
You're gonna look upside down or something.
It's a one-way
inside
portal
out.
to the fire plane.
So as a DM, every time you throw out an idea, that's when I cross off my list of what it is.
Like, it wasn't, but it could be now.
It was a portal to another plane of existence, and that plane was a treasure dimension. But that's gone.
Well, damn.
Everything was made of gold and diamonds.
Here goes my Minecraft stream.
Yep. Well, guys,
All right.
we got to get back down to the town because we got to get our stuff. We got to get our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What time of day are we looking at now?
At this point, it's about midday. You guys have kind of... You woke up in the morning in the basement under your dome, and you spent You spent about 3 or 4 hours exploring, like really, really exploring this whole place to the point where each of you can now feel confident that you are familiar with this residence on a personal level to the point where you could give a tour if you wanted to.
All right, great.
You're definitely kind of mentally thinking in your head, like, if we use this for headquarters, I could be there and I would change this around and maybe add that. So, but yeah, it's about we'll say exactly midday.
Well, as far as getting back to Dane, Koza, you may be our mode of transport that way, similar to how we had to get back from the.
Are there any like people with trees around?
What? What did you just say?
I was gonna use.
Any people?
Are there any trees?
Oh, people with WIDTH. Gotcha.
No, not people with trees. Although that would be pretty awesome. I'm talking
My
about
name
trees.
is Jorge, and this is my tree.
Well, as a friendly reminder, I will remind you that your horses are all in town.
Yeah, that's what I said. We got to get down to town first.
Yeah, we gotta get down to town.
And there are plenty of trees, just none that you've touched in town. You did not take the time to do.
Ah.
You have to touch them.
So we'll have to get to know them.
There are, however, trees all around Dane that you have touched, to the point where now, if you get back to town, you'll be able to utilize
Just
that.
need to kind of cozy up and get familiar with a tree in this area.
Yeah, Is there a tree like in the courtyard?
You can make a perception check.
But dude, we got to get to town first. We got to get to High Steel so that we can retrieve our horses and our wagon.
That's a 18 per perception.
Yep.
All right. How far away is it?
Well, you're way up in the mountains, and the only trees that you see here are pine trees, and they look to be about maybe 1 to 2 feet wide at the most. So unfortunately, they will not suffice to transport.
All right, let's go.
All right. Anybody else want to do anything while we're here?
I want to walk out of the front doors, and I'm going to reach into the bag of holding, and I'm going to pull out a flag with the House Cerulean emblem on it, and just tack it to the front door.
There's actually a big pile of tar on the ground that you could use as JB Weld.
Yes. Gonna JB Weld it to the wall.
Yep.
My favorite tool.
And close and lock the door since we have the keys.
Yeah. Why don't you have Adgear roll another thieves' tool check and see if he can't lock the doors behind you guys, because this is sort of the only way in, unless you wanted to scale the walls and climb in through a window. There's a couple broken windows in the towers that need repair, but this really is the only way in. And again, his loving wife is going to assist him, so you can roll advantage.
I can roll with advantage.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a dirty 20.
Yep. All right. So it's a big lock, and his tools are medium sized, and the lock looks large, and to the point where he's like losing his thieves' tools in this lock, to the point where he just like puts his thieves' tools away, just reaches his hands in, and just kind of clicks it with his hand. You hear this clunk, and he goes, "Ow! It snapped my finger a little bit. She's locked, nice and safe."
Koza will go up and just like grab whatever appendages are on the door that actually open it and just like shake the door a little bit to confirm that it's locked.
Yep, it rattles really, really hard. And I mean, the doors are made of stone. And then, shoot, I think it's Yuno. You would remember that you actually have the keys to this place. They're pretty big. A large iron set of keys. There's about 4 of them. And they all look like they open different things. Actually, there's 5, 5 keys. And one of them has the head of a skull on it, and you get the sense this is a skeleton key. This opens everything. They're about the keys are pretty big. They're about the size of a 7x17 sheet of paper. Like, they're pretty big. But the place is locked.
All right, to town.
Well, let's hope nobody else breaks in while we're gone, but yes, let's take off.
All right. You kind of, as you make your way down this alley and towards the cave entrance that leads to that kind of exposed dragon lair, or at least a portion of the dragon lair, because it seems like the castle kind of cuts that layer in half where it's sitting. Almost as if, like the plaque said, that the castle was built atop the dragon's lair. You pass that very large bronze statue of kind of a artistically drawn or artistically sculpted bronze dragon statue. Make your way around that. Head down the large and deep set of stairs. So I'm going to go ahead and need a perception check from someone at the front and from the back.
Atgear will take up the back. Ooh, that's not great. You said perception?
Huh?
That's a 11.
Good boy.
So whatever's sneaking up on us makes it.
All right, well, we'll take Mavens. We're never really announced who was doing it.
I'm taking the 6. Because you
Getting unmuted.
threw it first. Alright, so with such terrible perception checks, I'm going to need, I'm going to say, how many of you are there? 7? 8? There's 8 of you. Perfect. Let's see. Alright, I am going to do this. Out front, it was Sazros. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Baranor. Baranor, being that he is in the middle, and you guys are just kind of, you're not used to the large stairs. Baranor slips, falls, and tumbles about 20 feet down. He hits one edge of the stairs and then falls and then hits another, and he is going to take 8 points of bludgeoning damage as he slams hard, bam, down onto a step.
Jesus. Okay.
As this happens, Axton and Koza and Yuno, you all have pretty high passive perception. You notice that as Baranor slips and falls, familiar tentacle that kind of glides across his head as he flies down the stairs. See, up in the ceiling are 3 of these large stalactite-shaped monsters with large red eyes. They split down the middle, and millions of these tiny little teeth starts to chatter, and just kind of dangling their tentacles that are just barely out of reach. They look like they're about 50 feet up.
We like some torches.
You can now see that the tentacles are they look like just kind of ropey appendages, and they look like they're just really trying to reach down and to grasp you. They just can't seem to get you. Sazaros and Koza, you both have to crouch in order to avoid being touched by them. But even then, it would just be like a glancing above your head.
Sacred Flame.
It can attack. Yeah, go ahead. Did you say Thorn Whip before?
Yeah, but then I realized it's only 30
If we
feet.
can just stay out of the reach, they're not going to actively come after us. Remember when we got here?
Yeah, but it's a cantrip. I figured why not.
Fair enough.
Assert dominance.
Yes.
Is that a deck save on their part? Sacred Flame? It is, I think.
Yes.
Give me 1 second. Yes. You can only target one, of course. The rope decks. Probably not great. Right. You fire a Sacred Flame at 1 and it gets an 8.
Yeah, that fails. So he takes 2d6. So 7 points of radiant damage.
Kind of recoils. All of its tentacles withdraw, kind of like if you touch a snail's kind of eye stalks and they withdraw into the body. Tentacles just kind of slip back into its body, and it skitters away a little bit while the other 2 grow impatient, start flailing and flailing their tentacles at you in a more aggressive manner. You see one of them start to edge towards the wall of the cavern and start to slowly actually inch its way onto the wall where its little cilia-like suckers grip the rock. It's starting to move its way down towards you.
Is there a way for me to line up so that I can get all of them in a 15-foot cone?
Oh boy.
How far is that travel?
It's a range of 15 feet, an area of 15 feet.
Yeah, they're 50 feet in the air.
Okay.
5-0.
Okay, gotcha. I misheard you. I'm sorry.
Okay, you could burst it in their direction, see what that does, I guess. You definitely wouldn't hit them. At least not the 2 on the ceiling. The 1 is starting to make its way down very slowly.
Okay, I'll target that one then.
It's still about 45 feet away.
I can move 55 feet, so I can get close enough.
Want to climb the wall?
It would be nice. I don't think I can do that yet, unfortunately.
That's how you'd have to get close to it, because they're all currently attached to the ceiling above you, and one of them is slowly starting to make its way to the wall and inch its way down very slowly. So you'd have to wait,
okay,
and then you would definitely be within its grasping range before you were in range to hit it.
When that thing gets to about 30 feet, I'm going to take a shot at it with my hand crossbow.
30 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, who else is waiting?
I guess I am.
Okay.
I think I would still be in the active. We're still descending the stairs, but probably going a little more slowly with much more people at the ready in case one of those things makes a move.
All right, just give me 1 second
I
here.
does that sound about right, guys?
See, it's so at 40 feet, I'm gonna need Koza and Sazaros. Who else is staying? Oh, nobody wants.
Certainly
to
not
speak
at
up,
here.
huh? All right, I need you both to make.
Dang, sorry, I had to let the dog out.
It's okay. Are you staying as well?
Staying meaning what?
You're staying within that. How close is it that you want to be?
Well, I'm just saying, if and when it gets to within 30 feet, I'm going to take a shot at it.
Well, at 50 feet, it reaches out and grabs you. I need you to make a strength save.
That ain't going to work. 13.
All right. That is not good. You are grabbed.
I'm gonna grab.
You all see Sazros get grabbed, and the tendril starts to wrap around his body, and he starts to get pulled up the wall towards this particular roper.
I'm gonna use my telekinetic feature and pull Sazros back, because he can choose to fail the save.
Okay. All right.
So I'm gonna yank him back 5 feet
against
towards us.
the roper's strength. All right, so that's a natural 19 plus 4 is 23.
Wow.
And these things are strong as So, with this telekinetic pull failing, unfortunately, Azeros, you are starting to feel like you can't breathe as this thing is tightening its grip, bringing you up close to it.
I'm going to try to Sacred Flame it as well.
Okay, that's a dex save on his part. A 12. All right, yeah. I mean, it's not enough to shake his his grasp loose, but you definitely did some damage to it. That's for sure. He's pulling you up. You're about 20 feet away from his mouth at this point, Sazros, and just kind of flailing and wiggling. I'm gonna give you another chance to break free, though, as you have that opportunity. It's been 6 seconds, so go ahead and make another make your escape roll. Oh, not enough. He pulls you in even tighter.
All right. With my last little bit of breath, once I get in around, well, actually, I am. When I get within 15 feet, I'm going to use my last breath to use my cold breath weapon on him.
Go for it.
Well, he has to roll. He has to make a dex save.
He's going to auto fail because he's grappling you.
Okay. So he will take... God damn it. 3 points of cold damage.
Oh, no. What did you get, a 1 on all of them?
1 and a 2.
Oh, no.
No, it's 2d10. I do 2d10.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I mean, you frost the edges of his rocky carapace briefly. Like, you're kind of being squeezed, so your breath weapon is also choked. You're just like, and you just kind of, like, belch a little bit of frost
The last
onto
thing
you.
I could do, grapple up. Yeah.
Just not enough. The point where you feel like you might start losing consciousness at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Is this creature distracted having Sazros in its tentacles?
Oh yeah, especially
like could I get in closer?
Well, it's currently at the top of the wall kind of in the corner of the wall and the ceiling. It's up quite a bit. It's about 40 feet up.
Could I get... Oh, so then I can't get within 30 feet of it?
Unless you jump and do something at the height.
Really, really high.
You gotta jump real high.
Okay. Then I'm gonna try and cast another Sacred Flame on it.
It's gonna be a 12.
That fails. So he takes 8 points of radiant.
All right, that's noted. You notice that between Sazros' attack, her attack, it doesn't seem like it's doing hardly any damage to this thing at all. It just really kind of ricocheting off of its... It for all intents and purposes, it looks like it has rock for a carapace. And whatever gooey, nougaty center is on the inside is not being exposed by these meager attacks. And at this point, he's about 10 feet away from the thing's mouth. He's getting pulled up into it, guys.
I'll guiding bolt it.
Okay.
That's
That is just
that's
a
kinda cool.
ranged spell attack.
Yeah. 16 to hit.
That is a miss.
Oh.
Just
I'm
glances
going
right
to
off the
try.
body.
I'm going to use Dissonant Whispers.
Okay. A
So I whisper a kind of a discordant melody. He needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yep, that's a 6.
He fails that. There's 9 points of psychic damage.
All right. Anything else he has to do?
Let me see, just to be sure.
Is that something
Yes, it
kinda
must
run away?
immediately use its reaction to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
All right, it drops you instantly. However, you are about 20 feet in the air,
Yep.
so you're going to take some fall damage.
Yep.
I'm going to have Rhea and Adgir get right underneath you and negate half of this,
Okay.
trying to catch you. They see all this happening. So that's 12 points of bludgeoning damage halved, so you take 6. And you notice the creature recoil and just kind of skitter away up the ceiling, and it just looks like it's just continuing to run away from you. And dust yourself off, and you notice that it turns around and starts following you again. It looks like it wasn't scared of you for very long.
All right. Shall we get going, guys?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, after about 20 minutes of traversing this rather treacherous staircase, but with the aid of your torches and the fact that it looks like these creatures are not following you at the present moment, you're able to scale your way down to the entrance door. It is closed. To the left of it, with your torchlight, you see a very large iron and wood and stone lever that looks like it's about 10 feet long and about 10 feet up in the air, and it's in the up position. Looks kind of like a lever. To the left of the large gated door.
What do you say we get some rope, kind of haul it over around the fulcrum area, and all of us just kind of try to pull this lever down?
Well, whoever would like to aid in that, I'm going to need a strength check from whoever does it, and I'll take the average.
Who's got the best strength ability? Strength.
I have a pretty good strength.
All right,
Also,
and I'll aid you with it.
Koza should help because he gets to
Yeah.
be one size larger when pulling or
In
pushing.
terms of pulling and pushing,
So
yeah.
pulling a lever would be,
Yeah.
I would assume.
Assume correctly.
Yep. Can Koza just reach the lever without need of a rope or anything?
At the top of the lever, or at least where you can grasp it, it's like 10 feet, 12 feet in the air, which is nothing for,
Yeah. No.
for a Furbolg. So.
Little bit much for him.
Oh no, he can. It's connected about 10 feet in the air. He's
Okay, so
Oh,
he
then
could
I'll
reach it.
probably have to jump a little
I
bit.
could jump. Give me an athletics check. What the heck?
Oh boy. 13.
It's good enough. Grab it.
I jump, grab it at the base, and try and like shimmy my way up the lever.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to waver under his weight. It looks like perhaps a little more energy into this lever, and it might actually pull down. It looks like it's starting.
I'm
Yeah,
just gonna like
I'll
try and
pull him
jolt it
down.
down.
It's
I'll pull him down.
pull him
Yeah,
down.
we'll work on pulling him.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and give me strength checks from Sazros and from Exon, please. Make athletics. With me.
Athletics?
Sure. Nice.
You just told me a straight up strength check, so it just did 22.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Mhm.
Yeah, you guys grab hold of Koza's legs, and you can feel him kind of his wrists sort of shaking a little, but with your added effort, you hear this. And you can feel like mechanisms within the stone wall to your left starting to like grind and kind of crank. See the door that you had opened previously start to break open and rise very slowly, and you hear this clink, clank, 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 clank as the chains on either side and the front are dipping down into the ground into whatever mechanism is built into this doorway. Very slowly.
Once it gets high enough, everybody go, go, go.
Yep. And
Go.
you can hear that familiar clunk, 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 clunk. And you look up at the top of the doorway, and you can see the door very slowly clunk, starting to come down. It doesn't seem like it's a fast-acting slamming door. It's just something that's designed to close on its own, I suppose. You make your way to the mouth of the Viperous River, where the waterfall to your far left is feeding it. Mind you, the waterfall is huge. It's a very large waterfall. Probably, I don't know, it's probably 40 feet across and maybe 100 feet tall, where that water wheel just, you can see the mechanism starting to grab it and bring it back out of the way of the water wheel so that it doesn't constantly sit there spinning. And the Viperous River flows before you, and for the sake of brevity, we're just going to assume that you guys made your way back to Heistel within the next, I'd say, hour or so of trekking across the bank of the Viperous River. You cross the bridge that foiled you previously with its arrow trap. It seems completely disarmed at this point, as the people who set it up are dead. You make your way back to the fishing village of Heistel on Rybank Lake.
All right, so as we're traveling back, we're discussing, so do we want to try to gather any more intelligence on those sigils and that lock, or are we just looking to get out of here and come back once we've regrouped?
Yeah, we can do that at a later date. We have a little more pressing matters to get out of the way first.
Do we summon the head Inquisitor this evening?
I think he said to meet them in the capital.
Can anybody verify one way or the other? Because I remember us getting a sending stone.
We have to get them to the capital.
From him.
We have to get them to the capital to get the money.
Okay.
You guys are about a month and 4 or 5 days away from your life is on the line deadline, but you're only about 4 days away from your monetary reward deadline.
No, we can't get to the capital in 4 days.
Well, we can if we get to Dane. We just have to get to Dane.
Okay. Well, let's do this then.
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins.
Pretty much. All right.
All right.
So as we make our way into town, we'll make our way back to the livery. And keeping an eye out on how the townsfolk are approaching us a couple of days after our little fishing expedition.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
I'm going to walk around and look for a suitable tree.
Give me one for you, too.
All right, my passive perception is a 15. Do I need to beat that?
I mean, there is... I'm going to say this. There's kind of a constant in this town as far as the people. There's only about 3 races in this town that seem to be consistent. That's human, that's half-elf, and that's dwarven. There are really, I mean, you see half-orcs too. You don't see any tieflings, which is it's par for the course in the Empire. You guys don't see a lot of tieflings at all. And they all kind of dress very earth-tony. There's not a lot of color. You guys do kind of stick out like a sore thumb, especially Sazros in your purple armor. Being a silver dragonborn, everybody just kind of looks at you. Don't get the feeling that they are in awe of you, like, ooh, I've never seen a dragonborn before. But you're a tourist. You're somebody. You're not a town.
Right.
So you definitely do get side glances, but nobody. Don't catch any heat. Nobody approaches you telling you to get out or anything like that. It just, you definitely do feel out of place slightly. But there's also friendly nods and people who wave too. It just seems like a bunch of people just trying to live their lives. What did you get for your perception there, Koza?
22. I put it in the chat.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see. Ah, there we go.
It's okay.
22. Yeah, you definitely find on the edge of town as you kind of break away from the group just to kind of take care of this bit of business. You do find a rather large coniferous tree. Big, huge canopy. It's not any taller than anything around it, but it definitely has a wider base that you get the feeling like it'll definitely fit not just you and your horses, but also the cart. Not sure if you guys brought the cart with you this time, but yeah, it's definitely something that you will be able to return to. So if you would like to write into your notes that you have now a tree gateway to Heistel. And as far as, let's see here. It's going to be the 24 hours that you were gone, going to be a gold per person per horse. That was kept up, and I believe you all took your horses. I don't think anybody was riding on the back of anybody else's, with the exception of maybe Drea was on Adgear's horse. So that's going to be a 1 gold.
I don't think we took a wagon. I don't recall that we took the wagon. I think we took horses, but no wagon.
Okay. It's still going to be, yeah, it's going to be a gold.
Simple enough.
Gold per.
All
Is there
right.
any other business you guys would like to attend to in town before Posa does his thing?
Any evidence of that glyph, that odd thieves' can't symbol?
No, not in your kind of hurried walking through town, kind of looking left and right. You don't see that symbol anywhere.
Okay. Well, all right then.
Yep, nothing for me.
Okay.
All right. Everybody go.
Yep, let's get this thing up to 88.
Yep, you see Koza on his horse kind of focuses, and his eyes glow green and then shift to blue as he opens his eyes. You see the tiara on his head, which is kind of a melding of nature and moon themes, starts to glow briefly, and he walks up and touches the trunk of this tree, and you see this kind of little pinprick of green light that splits into a line and then widens. Whoosh. There's this ethereal, ghostly, bluish-green light within, and tree portal has been opened.
All right. Scoot, scoot, scoot.
As you all make your way through the tree portal, it's a jarring experience. I think you've only done it once at this point. You feel every cell in your body being lurched forward, and your horses are no exception. They definitely start braying and bustling and crying out for a magical experience they're not accustomed to. You feel yourselves rushing through this tunnel of light that sort of whips left and whips right and up and down, and you feel your stomach's contents start to gurgle a little bit. And just as you feel your head starting to pound, you're all standing tree line outside of Dane. Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
You see the large, shining white castle at the center of the city standing before you with the high walls and ever-encroaching structures and houses, towers in the center that make up the upper portions of the city. But as I said before, there are no sectors or quadrants or anything like that where it kind of cordons off the poor. It seems like everything is sort of intermixed with everything around in the city. And as you approach the guards, they ask for your seals. It's no trouble at all. You all seem to have yours in order. They let you in. And you find yourselves within the confines of the city itself.
Let's make our way back to the Hargrove estate, get our horses put away, and let's get ourselves refreshed.
Yeah. You arrive back at the Hargrove estate. It doesn't seem like there's anybody home other than Alkin, the major domo, some staff. looks like the elderly Ulysses Hargrove is in his room, and he just sort of kind of comes out briefly to greet you all, and then he toddles off back into his chambers.
All right. Get ourselves cleaned up. I'm going to take the opportunity to re-oil my armor since I burned out all the magic.
All right. I believe that's your last...
No, I never did the first time. I had 2 applications. I never applied it the first time.
Okay. You have 1 left.
That is correct.
So you're back up to 100 worth of damage. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
All right.
Folks.
Any news from the Major Domo regarding the wedding front?
Yes. Well, everything seems to be in order. The Lady Kethra's entourage and retinue shall be attending, as well as the Hargrove's extended family. It looks to be quite an affair. It shall be, well, just a joyous event. We haven't had a wedding in the family in a few years, with Sir Thorsten's wedding before young Reese was born. But yes, it shall be quite wonderful. Are you all attending?
Wouldn't miss it for anything.
And he just kind of goes on to how, he starts drolling on about how the decorations are starting to make their way in, and it's happening in about a week's time. At some point between, right after the hand-to-hand competition, but right before the free-for-all of the Ellington Classic, which does encapsulate the last event of that, the tournament. And it's taking place on the Hargrove grounds. And it just seems to like it's going to be a great time.
Cool. All right. Well, what events are going on today?
Today is nothing. Tomorrow is the unraveling. And after that, the day after that will be a day of rest. Not necessarily rest. There will be events going on in the arena. They're not anything that you guys seem to be interested in at the time. There's a lot of stuff. There is going to be kind of a musical gathering on the floor of the arena in 2 days' time. But we're going to, for you guys' sake, we're going to count that as a day of downtime. You guys can definitely choose to attend that if you wish, but it's not anything that you'll be needing to compete in. And like I said, after the events of the unraveling, you'll have the hand-to-hand competition, which that day after the hand-to-hand competition will also be the chariot race. And then another day of downtime, and then we're going to have the wedding, and then the day after that is the free-for-all. So it's starting to round to a close. Old Ellington Classic.
Well, we've got all this nice new loot. We should probably take some opportunity to let's get some of these things identified. And maybe start getting some of these things appraised. Would you be willing to help out to identify a few things?
Absolutely.
Let me see. The 2 items that I see is that we have this silver orb, this cantaloupe-sized orb, that while it's finely polished, it does not reflect. See if there's any magical aura to that, as well as this leather bracelet that I found.
So first I'm going to start with detect magic on everything to see if either of those 2 items even glow.
Okay, they both do. They both give off very not strong magical auras, but not weak either. Somewhere in the middle, a constant strumming or a thrumming coming from the orb, whereas the bracelet has kind of a constant tonal pulse. So you get the feeling like there are different magics at work here, but they are both definitely magical.
All right, then I'm going to take out my Wand of Identify and...
Any of the other items that we've gathered up.
What else do you got?
Well, there is the carving, the thieves' can't carving.
Is that with you?
Well, you said it was on the table, not part of the table.
No,
Is
it
that
was
correct?
carved into the table with a knife.
Into the table. Okay, then. So I just had to make a sketch of it. Never mind then.
Yep.
Now, we've already identified... well, didn't any of those books... We took some books that had tended to have a little bit of a magical aura to them.
That is correct.
Has detected.
The blank magical book.
You guys already, believe you already detected that was magical.
Right, that they are magical, but we didn't identify as to how.
All right.
And then we've already identified the breaker's weapons, the crossbow, the kukri, the dagger, Tor's cobalt dagger. Okay, cool.
So, let's go with the two books. I don't know if you are, that's 5 items, I believe, right? Or is that 4?
Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3 books. We have the blank book, the Mazov's primer, and then the in-depth discussion and analysis of extra-dimensional effects, ...
Yes, that book is giving off a magical aura. Unfortunately, I'll just say that you can gather this because you're pretty smart when it comes to magic, you know. Because the book is so badly damaged, its effects are not transmissible into a spellbook or anything. You're not going to really get much out of this book other than maybe reading it, because it's so heavily damaged all the way to the back cover. The blank book is just a simple blank spellbook, and you know that definitely you don't need a new spellbook. However, you could get a pretty penny for it because it's very well made. You could keep it for yourself and transcribe all of your spells into it. I would of course incur a bit of cost on that part, just on new ink and paper, but it's definitely a nicer book than you have. And Mazov's Primer is a very interesting book that if you were to read it, and it wouldn't take as long as some of the other books I've given you, it would only require about 6 hours of reading. Okay? And you would gain the Mazov's Primer. It's a divination book. It allows you to cast the spell through seeing. You can cast it just from that book. It wouldn't cost you anything to transcribe it. Just you'd have to carry that book around. Or you can transcribe it into your spellbook and incur the cost.
All right.
And then I'll tap the other 2 objects with the Wand of Identify. Okay.
The silver orb, which is about the size of a cantaloupe, is very... You get the sense immediately, oh, that's cliche. As you tap into it, your vision goes into the orb and spreads out in all directions. You get the sense that this is magic crystal ball. It's a scrying stone. The only difference is that you can use it to remote view any location that you personally have been to.
Been to or seen?
You basically, anywhere where you have been, you can affix a permanent scry to, and 10 minutes you can view whatever is happening in that location.
Oh, we have a security camera set up.
Yeah, pretty much. You have to be holding it. It does not require attunement. Anybody can use it. And it can only be used once a day. And just because Yuno is very attuned to magical items, as this is his job, you get the sense that this is worth about 1,500 gold. If you guys ever want to know the value of a magical item, Yuno would be able to appraise it, and you can ask for that too.
Okay.
Just so you don't feel like you have to keep everything because you don't know what anything is worth.
Gotcha. And now the leather bracelet.
Leather bracelet. As he taps this, you look down at your hands and you feel your finger, almost like your grip strength, increase. And this is a bracer of strength. And whoever wears this, you have to attune to it. Whoever wears this may increase their strength score by a factor of 1, maximum of 20.
All right. But does anybody have any great need for the bracer? I mean, we all could use some extra strength, but really, who would benefit from it the most right now?
I already have maximum strength, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and no one else is really.
I mean, my strength score is only a 13, but...
Say again?
I said my strength score is only a 13.
But
We'll let you have it
yeah,
if you
in
want.
the grand scheme of things, though.
Alright, you said you had to
All right,
return
well,
to
I'm
it.
going to say but.
But none of the other party members really need. I mean, yes, is extra strength helpful? Yes, but is it worth taking that attunement spot away for somebody that's not going to need it on a regular basis?
I mean, because that's what I'm saying, because I'm... What about the monk?
Well, the monk uses Dex.
Choose X.
Jesus, thanks, yeah.
Thanks.
I'm
So-
at next build.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm at-
And I'm at an even number, so +1 wouldn't
I
be
think-
very-
just as a kind of general thinking process here as the token wizard, we're better off selling that and using that fund to either maintain party supplies or invest in a item that someone has to attune to that is more useful.
Of more use. Of more utility. Of more
I agree.
utility.
I like that idea.
makes perfect sense.
Because
I'm
you would
cool
know
with
that is worth how much gold?
Alright, sounds great.
Give me 1 second.
$100 billion.
You know, knows things even the dungeon master doesn't know.
11 billion.
Not
I think that's
considered-
strong.
Yeah, they're not considered rare. It's considered uncommon, wondrous item. Yeah, so that's gonna be anywhere between 12 to 1,500 gold. It's a pretty powerful item, but it's not as spectacular as we've heard of when it comes to gauntlets of power or bracers of strength or anything like that.
Yeah. No, I think that scrying stone is definitely worth keeping.
I agree. I think we can have some good use for that in the future.
All right. What about the... So I guess we need to kind of put things in a sell pile versus keep pile. I'll start from the top and we can just kind of rattle off some of these things if somebody wants to keep notes versus keep versus sell. Let's see. From the breakers, we've got Izzo's bookmark, which I think Yuno has already laid claim
Hold on
to.
1 second, and I have a separate list of party stuff that we're holding to, and kind of. I did. There we go. Hold on 1 second, just so I can update my.
Sure. Sorry, Joe. Now we have to do the mundane things here. And if we're bogging things down too much, Joe, just let us know and we can table things for later.
No problem at all. This was going to be this is always going to be something of a lighter session anyway, just because you guys just got done fighting a massive nemesis. so it's cool. Besides, doing this makes it easier later when you guys are trying to figure out what the hell you have.
Okay.
I've been there.
On that note, Joe, is there a list anywhere of the loot from the last couple sessions?
I've got it written down. I've got the one written from the breaker session.
I also have how much. What I have is how much gold you guys have, but I think Corey's pretty good about keeping track of that, so I think he has that.
I have that.
I can give that to you as well.
Oh, you have the gold from the...
Okay. You've gotten the stuff down from the Maltresel estate raid, right? With the vampire and everything. We've taken care of that.
Yeah, I've got that stuff. I gotta just be a little better about updating this.
All right, so...
All right, what else? So we got Izzo's bookmark.
Izzo's bookmark. We had Izzo's pouch. It had 90 gold and 43 silver, as well as his ledger. Rianne, she had the +1 light crossbow with 8 bolts, 2 daggers, and then a pouch with 31 gold, 14 silver. Now, I'm assuming we did, but I don't have it written down searching Violetta, yes.
I think you guys, in tossing the entire keep, say you searched her body, but you never did specifically say you searched her corpse, so I will relay to you the following information. She has a gilded skull.
She has a what now?
Gilded skull. It's like a skull with like... It's a humanoid-looking skull. It's been blackened by either paint or fire, and it is decorated with jewels and gold trim and gold filigree and things like that.
Okay.
And if you give me one moment, I'll tell you exactly how much it's worth. Because it is a spell component. She also had a pouch on her hip. Didn't have much in it. Had 10 gold, and we'll say 20 silver. She also had another pouch on her hip with various creepy odds and ends, like she had a severed finger. She had what looked like a pouch with some sort of green residue in there that looked extraordinarily similar to the pouch that you guys found. There was that poison trap with the bat wing inside of it.
Yeah.
So you deduce that perhaps this thing belonged to her. The gilded skull is worth 300 gold. It also has like mushrooms and, smaller pouches inside of it with like yellow powder. Looks like various spell components, or perhaps she's just a weird collector of odds and ends. It also has a dagger, just a simple dagger. She's got 10 pages of fine parchment. You would recognize this as transcribing parchment, so you got 10 sheets. The quill, no ink. It does.
You said ink or no?
No ink. Does have
no.
Does have a rather nice quill. It's not enchanted or anything like that, but it's nice. And she has looks like some kind of a small journal of some kind, about the size of a pack of cards. Something very small that she could write it. That's it.
Okay, cool. All right. So going back up for Rianne, she had the light crossbow, the 2 daggers, and then the pouch.
And how much was in the pouch again?
31 gold, 14 silver.
Right.
Castellan, he had his kukri and his dagger. Now, is this dagger, is this the one that can inject poison?
Oh, he's got what looked like, if you looked inside of his scabbard, he's got what looks like a single use worth of poison just poured into the scabbard, so if he sheaths it, it allows him to
blade. Okay. He had a pouch with 39 gold and 35 silver. He had 2 small little bombs, like little M80s or something. And then his mask of deception that we already identified, which I would like to keep.
You put it on yet?
Have I put it on yet? No, I have not. We have had it identified, though.
It's not cursed or anything.
Right. That's what I was explicitly meaning. Never got any indication it was cursed or anything. Yeah.
Not cursed.
All right. Yeah. So just for giggles, I'll go ahead and put the mask on.
As you put the mask on, you notice that it shifts to the shape of your dragonborn face. And as you look at everybody around you, you all notice that the patterns in black on this white porcelain mask shift and actually change based on the fact that whether he's smiling or frowning or even talking. It doesn't move with each movement of your face, but it seems to adopt a new pattern with a different expression. It's beautiful. It's very, very mysterious and strange to you all. As you're looking at him, let's just have, because it's fun, let's have everybody who's looking at him roll a wisdom saving throw.
15.
22 from Axton. A natural 1 from Baranor. A 15 from Koza. Roll for Drea, what the heck. It's fun. She got a 10. Koza and Atgeir. 1 from them too.
Alright, Koza got a 21.
Okay.
And Atgeir got... Oh, that's a natural 1.
Alright, so Atgeir and Baranor. As you're looking at Sazros, and mind you, you're watching him put the mask on. There's no mistake that Sazros is putting this mask on, but as soon as he puts it on and looks at you all, there's this weird ethereal cloudiness to your mind, and you forget who the hell it is you're looking at.
Wow.
Just for a brief second, and then you hear Sazros talking, you're like, oh, that was weird. I forgot who you were for a second. But yeah, it's definitely something that will aid you in decepting people. That part of the enchantment stands. And yeah, as you try to take it off, it doesn't try to it's not like the mask with Jim Carrey where it's like sealed on your face. Like you can very easily take it off, no problem. But when you have it on, it's almost like covers your mouth, makes your mouth nice and smooth, covers your nostrils. It leaves holes for your eyes, but it completely conforms to the shape of your head, your face. Neat.
All right. That was fun. Next up, we have Tor's materials. He had his cobalt dagger that we already identified. Anybody want to lay claim?
Not me.
Okay. This is if you score a critical hit, the target takes an extra 1d8 lightning damage. And has to make a con throw or be paralyzed. I know it works.
It is a very nice dagger. That's true.
I mean, Baranor would take it, I'm sure.
He's got an assortment. He's got 2 Tellarite daggers.
He has so many daggers.
Got the Wind Razor, and so he's running out of room as far as his attunement, because it does require attunement.
Oh, okay.
It does require attunement.
He can always substitute something out. I mean, I don't know that he's out yet. I'll have to get with him about his stuff.
I don't know. Yeah.
If you want to just hold
How
on
much
to
would
it.
we estimate this? How much would we estimate this to be worth?
Oh, that is a rare item. That's worth at least 2,500 gold, if not more, depending on who you sell it to. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it has a great deal of function. I'd hate to just sell it off, but we have his kind of Chris-like dagger. Had really no special function to it. He had the keys, and then he had the map. That folded up map to terrain we didn't directly recognize.
It's some kind of encampment in a forest. It's not clear exactly where it is, although you will notice that that symbol that was carved on the table is also in the upper left corner of the map.
Well.
There's also a number of X's surrounding the encampment with little dotted trails leading somewhere away to the top portion of the map, not quite the left corner, just to the right of that, where these trails exit to the top of the map.
Okay. Something to put, maybe we can, after we finish identifying everything and kind of giving it up, maybe we can go to one of the libraries here and see if they have some atlases to see if we can try to figure this place out. All right, the thugs had 2 short bows and 15 arrows, nothing much there. We have the books that we talked about. We found in the upstairs rooms, we found a leatherworker's toolkit, 3 arrows, and a pouch of ranger spell components.
I do believe that Bernor did to spell components.
I think he did too, yeah. Anybody want the leatherworker's toolkit? Anybody feel like it could be of any use to them?
I already have one.
And I don't do leatherworking, so no.
Neither do I. I don't have proficiency with it or anything like that. I mean, we can always sell it.
Yeah,
We'll
I
keep it.
think that's best.
Okay. In the northeast room, this was the big room. Had the chest of 22 platinum, 706 gold, 606 silver.
Side note,
There was
the leatherworking tools are worth 5 gold.
Okay. Of note, there was also 1,000 copper, but I don't know if we really wanted to tote, $10 worth of pennies. 15 various rings, estimated at about 500 gold piece total.
Right.
And then some wrist and ankle manacles. I don't know if do we feel the need to take those or not?
Those were considered high quality. They weren't master crafted, but they were high quality, so it's going to be worth about 25 gold for the manacles.
Okay. All right, we had Tor's Great Axe. We have a 25 gold piece jeweled dagger of a odd metal, kind of a faint brassy, bronzy look to it, but nothing that we've seen naturally. That may be worth maybe Baranor taking to his smith friend to see if they're able to identify the metal, at least, to see if maybe it's indeed more valuable.
Sounds like a plan.
We have the Goliath-size half-plate armor, which I'm thinking sell. Anybody else?
No.
All right. We have the 35 gold piece jeweled goblet.
We could definitely sell that.
We have the scrying stone, which I think is definitely worth keeping.
Yeah, we could use that.
Sure. I'll keep it in the bag of holding.
You want to hold on to that? All right.
Does not require attunement.
Good. In Castellan's room, we found 66 gold, 53 silver, a few assorted hand tools and weapons, and we also found his little black book. which I think I'll hold on to for dating tips.
Oh, nothing, but it's got a little bit about Maven in there.
She's gonna hunt me down while I sleep.
Fucking mortified. She is completely mortified by that.
Just wait for you in the middle of the night to come, like, find me and burn that fucking book.
I'll roll like a 1 stealth check, and you're like, "What are you doing?" I'll be like, "Don't worry about it."
I am ridding the world of great evil.
Say this, Sazros, and it's your choice. It's your choice on whether you share this with Maven. There are a number of suggestions as far as attire that Estelan believed Maven would look very fetching in.
Probably not. Probably just keep that to yourself.
Or just casually, for this event, why don't you wear the nice red one shown right over here?
Okay. Well, technically she doesn't know anything about it yet, so she would have no idea.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I guess we'll
All right. Moving on. We have our +1 leather bracer that we said we're probably likely going to sell. We left back at the keep that crate of silverware. We'll have to figure out what to do with that. And then there's also some food stuff's laying there we probably want to take care of sooner rather than later. So we've got quite the haul here.
If you're interested, we can streamline the selling process. And you can convert those 15 rings. And because it is a barter system, I'm going to say, why don't we have Sazros, since you have good charisma, you go ahead and roll a D100.
A D100, okay.
$100. All right, so I'm going to subtract that from here.
Sorry. I'm going to hit it twice inadvertently.
I'm going to say you got 83% of that 500, which would be, let's see, math. Able to do some negotiation, and we'll count that. That's a pretty good score. We'll count that 83 towards pretty much everything. So you can, if you want to convert those rings into gold, you get 415 for that batch of rings. You get 20 gold for the jeweled dagger, and obviously, if somebody wants to keep this, just speak up. I think that you guys are pretty much set on what you keep, though. So you'll get 20 for that jeweled goblet.
For the jeweled goblet, you said,
sorry,
not the dagger.
20 gold for the dagger. 29 gold for the jeweled goblet.
We have that.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you wrote this down, but you also found 22 platinum. Okay.
Yeah, we got that. The manacles.
Manacles. Did I say that was 4? That was, I think 25, right?
Yes,
You'll get
25.
20 gold for those.
Okay, the armor, a half plate.
Second. The armor has been tailored to fit a large creature. Is heavily worn, heavily used, and slightly damaged. So half plate goes for 750. Half, 83% of it, and then half of that. So you're going to get 311 gold for that half plate, because it is usable. It's just been heavily augmented and heavily worn. It stinks, needs to be washed, needs to be repaired.
And then can we...
Gotcha.
Oh, can we just bundle up and you just throw a price on, like...
Let's see,
the 6 miscellaneous daggers, great axe...
Go ahead, Reno.
All that little... The 2 short bows. Can we just bundle that into one amount? driving me nuts.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Give me 1 second here. Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
How many items do you have
6,
total? Can
7,
you add it up?
8. There was 9 miscellaneous
Everything's
little
pretty cheap.
weaponry type thing.
Yeah, with no pluses, no modifiers or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that one saved.
Now, I'm assuming we wanted to keep the +1 light crossbow.
It's up to you. Okay. All right. So.
Yeah, we're keeping that one. Okay.
So I'm gonna say for all of that, you're gonna get 10 gold.
And then the only
Gold for
we're gonna sell that
miscellaneous
spell book.
weapons. Okay.
It's
All
empty.
that stuff. Okay.
Yep.
And the bracer strength.
Okay. So, reserve strength.
Okay.
I'll give you 1,200 gold for it. Spell book. You guys got quite the loot. Let's see here. Son of a bitch.
Isn't it weird to actually have an empty spell book?
It was just in the bookcase. Yeah, that's gonna have to be negotiated by Yuno, I would say. So, Yuno, why don't you give me a persuasion check? You could do it at advantage because you're, an expert on magic items, so you'd be able to negotiate pretty easily.
22.
Will we get like 4 gold for the leatherworker's toolkit?
Yeah. 22. All right. Spellbook is worth 1,000 gold. It is mostly due to its craftsmanship, although its pages are imbued with magical receptive energy so that you can write your spells into it and it lasts forever. The craftsmanship of the book itself is pristine. It is master crafted. We'll get 1,000 gold for that book.
Nope, you guys are my friends, and none of you know shit about spell
Or you can
books,
keep
so.
it and be the envy of all your friends, provided you have friends.
Let's also let's toss that bookmark too. Let's get rid of that. Yeah. Yeah.
The bookmark?
Sell the bookmark. Okay. It's a minor magic item.
The
You're
only
going to
thing
get
in
150
Nizzo's I want
gold
to
for
keep
it.
is his spell book.
You said 150 for the bookmark?
Yep, 150.
Okay. 150. All right, cool.
All right, and I think that's everything from the keep. It looks like is gone.
So let's see. I think that's the batch.
Yeah, I'm gonna total it all up and add it to the other party gold. So I'm gonna be
20 plus
tied up
20
for a second here.
plus 3,159 gold.
Total with everything in the pouches and stuff too.
The hall.
It is.
All right. Okay, how much was that again?
That does not include the pouches. That is just from the items we sold.
All right, and I'm gonna add that to the pouches and then add that to the stuff in the party fund.
3,159
Second
gold.
here. I mean,
Well,
let me
wait a
total it all
minute
up,
now.
and then however we want to
we've
split
earned
it.
ourselves a cut.
I mean, there's how many of us, and
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's a good thing to save some for the party, but I think we all earned the right to treat ourselves a little bit here.
We could just consider the party fund like another player. Like, if there's 5 players, we just split it 6
So if I
ways.
attack your party fund, can I destroy your money?
As long as the money can attack back.
Coin spray.
Board mimic.
A metal golem.
Spray of coins.
It's a gold
Just-
golem.
Does 2d6.
Just flip the bag of holding inside out and
Oh
just
no.
bag just tons
Animated
of
treasure
gold
hoard.
coins.
Not for nothing, but Ken's got a very interesting idea on how to weaponize bags of holding.
Yeah, you cast catapult
That's not
on
quite-
each and every
that's-
gold coin
that's
in
the
there, and
dumbed down
then you flip it
version.
inside out, and they all catapult to whatever you're pointing it at.
Way.
Does it work across dimensions?
No, it's you use 2 bags of
The
holding
velocity doesn't,
attached
stop
to
when it
familiars,
reaches
and then
the
they fly
bag,
into
just
each other,
keeps
and then
going?
it causes a black hole.
That's
Yes.
interesting.
Here we go.
Oh, that method.
Oh.
Well, no, one of them flies one of the bag of holdings into the other,
Ah.
and then it creates like a rift in reality.
Oh, it creates a portal to the astral. I guess you could consider that a rift in reality.
Alright, so for simplicity's sake, for the party fun, well, for the splitting of stuff, we're only going to split the gold, because that's easiest. So, it's 3,398. So, there's how many of us?
There are
8.
yeah, there's 8 of you, but right,
Wait a
Drea
minute, we've got-
is going to abstain from a portion.
Yeah, that's with all the
Definitely
miscellaneous
taking-
pouch stuff.
I'm quite. You said 3,398.
Yes. Yeah. That's the money from the
Well,
pouches, so
I mean,
not
we
like
just
the
got-
cobalt dagger.
That's
or
that's
all that
that's the
stuff.
money from the pouches, right? That's not including items. Okay, okay, that's just raw
So-
coinage. Okay,
what I would propose is
the
that we
remaining 3,100.
direct take 398 goes to the party, and then we split the remaining 8 ways. So some of that will go back to the party fund, and then everyone will get a piece out of that. Well, that's because there's 7 plus the party make 8.
Like I said,
Yeah.
Drea
Okay.
is abstaining from taking a share, but Atgeir is definitely going to. You can split it in 8.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Except
So
except
the
the
point is
1,000
you've converted
copper,
everything to gold, right? All the
I
silver,
didn't wanna do
platinum, everything, it's all been converted to gold. Okay, gotcha. But we left that. If anybody wanted to grab a handful for toll roads or anything like that, that's fine. But
To throw at poor people.
And that does not include the platinum. That's separate.
It's my poor people. Upper.
That I left remaining.
right.
Yeah, that I left kind of just remaining. I figured
Okay, so
we could
the
either put that direct into the party
the
fund
22
or
platinum.
split it evenly. It was only 22 to count. That was a lot easier than all the miscellaneous stuff. So, all right. All right.
Okay. Yeah, we can apportion that separately. Let's just work on.
No, that's
So we got
total.
the 33.98 from coins, 31.59 for items.
So that's from the sale of stuff and the gold that we had on hand. In just this, that's not the stuff that we have saved from before.
Right. You know, we have at least 800 gold that we. I'm just not seeing where your math's going. The coinage.
Take into account.
You said that-
106.
I assume that was part of that 3,100 that
stash.
Sazaros was giving me.
Factor that into. Okay. Where is the confusion here? Let's get together.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it. Now, the
okay.
3,159.
Then that's where my confusion lies. I thought you were giving me a total of
That's just the
everything
money we obtained
minus
from
the
the
pouch
items.
shit. Okay.
No, that's minus coinage. That is just from the items alone. 3,159 for the rings,
Okay,
the dagger,
that's
the
where
goblet,
this
all the other
changes.
stuff. and I have not counted the straight up
Alright,
cash.
I'm gonna
that we
read-
got.
I'm gonna re-need the numbers from the actual physical cash then.
More money!
All right. Izzo had 90 gold and 43 silver. Rianne had 31 gold and 14 silver. Castellan had 39 gold and 35 silver. Violetta had 10 gold and 20 silver. Chest in the northeast room had 22 platinum, 706 gold, 606 silver. Southwest room had 66 gold with 53 silver.
You're also missing Tor's pouch. He had 69 gold and 68 silver.
Oh, I did not.
Okay,
So
so-
Tor's pouch had what now?
What I'm gonna do is just total up the gold,
69
add it to what we
gold,
have. The silver is just
68
gonna get thrown in the
silver.
party
Okay.
fund. That's not getting converted, it's just getting thrown in the party fund. Because I'm not doing all the math right now. We'll just throw it in the party fund and convert it later. Alright, so give me 1 second here.
Fair enough.
839, okay.
That's 800. The silver adds up to 839 gold.
150.
Okay, so we're at 5,009 gold.
And all the gold adds up to
With the
1,000
items and the physical cash. Okay, so alright, 9 of that is gonna go straight
That's
to
a lot of gold.
9 of it's gonna go straight to the party fund, and then we're gonna divide the 5.
Yes, 5,009.
Well, no, hold on. So 509 is gonna go to the party fund, and then that will leave us with 45 to divide by 8. Damn it! What is the math now?
So that's 10%. Okay.
Hold, please. Yeah, I need it to be even though.
162 gold and 5 silver.
Okay, so the party fund is going to be 409 gold from this excursion. We're going to split 4,600 gold amongst the party. So everybody gets 575 gold, which added to the party. That's okay. So, all right. Everybody gets to add 575 to their gold tally. And the party fund adds 984 gold.
Woohoo!
Nope. That's total. So that's its share plus the additional 409.
In addition to the 409 you already said?
That's total.
And the party
Oh,
party
okay,
fund
then.
also has the
So 575
22
plus 409 goes to the party fund. Okay.
Bag of holding burps and go. Thank you.
Well, we spent a little bit.
What
We
does
have some
that-
other
it
shit on
just
the list
gold.
here that
What is your
we'll have to
party's
break
total?
down later on and sell, like bunch of pearls and brooches and shit that we got out of the other place. But the party fund right now stands at 26 platinum. Math. It's my day off, guys. Make me do math over here. 3,024 gold and 27 silver. 27. So
Great.
the party fund and us
And how many
is
is silver?
pretty well stacked.
27 silver. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys could buy a small house and add it to your real estate collection. A small little villa somewhere. Or you could pay to have your keep renovated and furnished. There's lots of stuff you can do with that much money.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hire some guards and some
laborers.
some work. Exactly.
Shovel all the crap out of there, yeah? All right.
Open up a pizza restaurant.
Saria at the top of
Well, we
Yeah.
need to get to
There you go. But you know, young man, you need to get some
teleportation
rest
circle.
because you have the unraveling
Get
tomorrow.
to the capital and get these heads turned in. Money comes first.
Yep. So we can even add more money, more money, more money.
Well, money and the brands.
Before we do that, I would like to get. I want to get a. Just my own. I would like to get a written statement from Lord Hargrove attesting to the events that he witnessed that evening.
He's not here.
Oh, the elder. Remember he said hi to us?
True. A persuasion check.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean he's an elderly man. He's in his late 70s, early 80s, which is pretty old. At that for this period of time. And he's able to what he's able to recall is as many details as he possibly can. He's not able to really ascertain verbatim what was said, but basically what you can write down is a written statement by Ulysses Hargrove and all. Ulysses is spelled the normal way. Actually, it's Sir Ulysses Hargrove. And these are the line items, the details that you can write in for that. There were 4 of you that were branded, if I remember correctly. It was Sazaros, was Koza, Axon, and Yuno.
Was Akir
He
there?
was in jail.
Or no?
He was drunk in jail.
He was in jail.
He somehow skipped out on that.
And you guys were tasked with bringing the heads of the breakers. You would get paid. Wasn't sure when. And that your names would be cleared. That's really all he remembers. He writes that down and shakily signs his name as best he can. And, uses I don't know what those devices are called that when you sign something and then press into the ink to dry it quickly or something. I don't know what that thing's called. Like a rocker.
Like a seal?
No, it's not a seal. It's like
Oh, it's a blotting paper.
yeah, it's like a blotter. Kind of seal his dry out his signature and very shakily hands it to you, and he seems happy to help.
Thank you very much, my lord.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
All right, then. I just wanted to have something to help back us up in case he tries to renege out of releasing us. Oakley dokley.
Oakley neighbor.
We're gonna try to teleport over there now and deliver our goods, or we're gonna wait till tomorrow.
What time of day are we looking at now? Mid-evening?
It only took you about an hour and a half to get home. Actually, no, you got there instantaneously, if I remember correctly. So it only took you about an hour and a half to get down the mountain. It was midday by then. So
Okay.
it's only about 2:33.
Okay,
Mid-afternoon, very, very early.
All right, great. Well, let's make our way to try to find a teleportation circle there.
Right? Not a problem. Yuno is able to navigate the more governmental buildings within Dane, and is able to find the location of the transportation hub. There are a number of transportation circles that go to all different kinds of places, and there's also one that looks like if you were to perform the spell here, you would be able to do it free of components, and that's kind of like this will take you anywhere. It's just a spot to go. But there is a dedicated transportation circle that goes directly to the capital. Fortunately, with Yuno's name being drugged through the dirt, is unable to secure a free passage, so it's going to cost the party 350 gold to travel to the capital.
Can I try to help haggle the price down?
Certainly try. 15. They're pretty rigid. These are mages, and they're mages that have a set price. And the fact that you stroll up in you're sitting in your armor, you're not in your regal kind of green attire with your little yellow frog handprint on the shoulder, which I haven't forgotten about that. Yeah, he's being very rigid and kind of stubborn. And he just kind of, you see him holding the chalk used to perform the spell, and he's just like, it's 350 gold.
Okay. Okie dokie. Thanks for your flexibility. All right. So this is for the party, correct?
It's not per person.
Yeah.
That would be very evil of me to give you all this money and then all of a sudden charge you that much.
Take it all the way. Yeah. So I guess that 350 comes out of party fund then.
Exactly. That's what it's for.
Takes your money and kind of drops it into a pouch on the side of a table. And mind you, this building is kind of a white pearlescent stone with odd shaped bricks set in weird geometric shapes along the walls. So teleportation circle itself is inlaid with pure platinum. It's a permanent teleportation circle. Sigils and glyphs, they glow one at a time as you see him run chalk along the edges of what looks like a miniaturized version of a teleportation circle embedded in the wall beside his little table. And you can see him drawing the glyphs over the circle itself, and you get the feeling that this is kind of like a control module for the large circle itself. You see him almost finish the last portion of the last glyph, gestures you all to stand at the circle.
Okie doke.
As you all gather in a tight bunch, the circle itself, mind you, is about 10 by 10, so you're all able to easily fit into this space. He finishes the last mark, snaps his fingers, and this blue light erupts from the floor and encases all of you. You find yourselves rushed upwards instead of forwards as you were in the tree. You get a brief glimpse of the city of Dane from up above. It's all ethereal and ghost-like as you rush forward in a direction that you can't even tell which way is up, down, north, or south. You find yourself slam into the ground. Several of you kind of stumble a little bit until you find your footing. I need everybody but Yuno to give me a Constitution saving throw. Y'all ain't never transported before.
Well, we just did the tree teleport.
That's different.
Yeah, that's
That's a different magic altogether.
That's a 18 from Koza.
Haven, Baranor,
And-
Atgeir. Do one for Drea too. It's not good, that's a 7.
And a 19 for Akir.
Okay, so basically everybody's doing fine except Baranor and Drea. They both double over and puke right onto the floor.
All right. Way to make that first impression.
Exactly. But
Welcome to the capital.
you stand in a very similarly decorated room. The glyphs and the The accoutrement on the walls are a little different. The shade of stone is a little grayer. The floor seems a little more traveled and worn than the room that you were previously in. The air smells slightly spicier, a little more like a little more incense is used in this hall. And as you step out, you see one of the mages just kind of like guiding you out of the room. You see there's another party waiting to enter the room that you're in right now. And as you step out of this wide room, there are many more transportation circles on either side of this hall that dwarf the amount of traveling that is capable of Dane. The place is a buzz with traffic. There are people entering rooms and exiting rooms. There's what looks like people kind of begging for change on the sides of the corridors and being hustled away by Black Guard. As you see yourselves before what looks like the entrance to this large transportation hub, Grand Central Station, if you were, notice the air is slightly chillier. So you can feel the crispness of the air and the fact that you're a little farther north than you were in Dane, and the elevation seems a little different too. You don't feel like you're in the hills that Dane is. You feel like you're kind of in a lower portion. The barometric pressure kind of throws off your inner ear a little bit. There's definitely a much more diverse group of population here, and there are full-blooded orcs. There are Arakocras walking around. There are obviously humans, elves, half-elves, dwarves, gnomes, halflings. You also see a race of creatures that you've never seen before. They have yellow skin with kind of black stripes that cross over their faces with these long pointy noses and very, very sharp pointed ears. Kind of like a shock of green hair that kind of goes over their head and down their back. There are other races that you don't recognize, pink skin with spots, and there are tabaxis of all different types of, some that look a little similar to Zhen. Others are more leopard. There's a few ones that look like lions. It's just a cornucopia of races in all manners of dress. Some dress in robes, others in armor, others in street clothes. Poor, rich. There's just a plethora of people. As you step out into the crowd from this entrance hall, you can see the city center of Havenscrest. It's like that. A grand thoroughfare that leads straight to the castle itself is immense. It's about 30-40 feet wide. It's clad in cobblestone with silver mortar, and horses of white and almost platinum silver fur dance across the thoroughfare, pulling carriages of pure silver and gold. There are Black Guards stationed every 50 or so feet that line this thoroughfare, and the whole city bustles with activity and foot traffic. You see there are magical energy that kind of connect a few of these buildings. The whole place seems like it would dwarf Dane by a factor of 5, and every manner of shape and geometric configuration that seem impossible for a building to be built that way. Like some are built that grow wider as they grow taller, and in fine spirals and strange shapes. This entire city is massive. As you walk down the streets, you pass over one of the 3 converging rivers Havenscrest sits upon. You all just kind of stand for a moment, many of you never having been in the capital itself. Marvel. City, Havenscrest. So we're going to take a break. Continue our little adventure. See you in a bit.
Cool.
There.
See you later.
Okie dokie. Got everybody?
Indeed.
Let's roll.
Alrighty. Getting back into it. all stand in the major thoroughfare, the capital of an empire, Havenscrest. If ever there was a shining jewel that was called Dane, this crest would be more like a crown, with many jewels bespoke its foundations. The Imperial Palace lay before you. That's not where you're heading. You're looking for the Onyx Order. A structure that no one here has ever been to. So I'm going to need an investigation check.
Sounds like it should be a large block building.
You can definitely look for one.
You said investigation?
Anybody who wants to make one. From Uno, 21 from Baranor. Anybody else? Even got a 17. Natural 20 from Sazaros. Alright, that'll do. Anybody else can roll, it will only help.
Sorry, I was muted. That's a natural 20 from Kota.
Nice. You guys are on point. You guys are on mission. You got a thing to do today. You're not going to stop. So, it's a little bit of asking, some Imperial influence on part of Uno, and some just savvy touristing on part of everybody else, except for Axton. He's never been here, and he's just looking at all the pretty buildings. You do find on the edge of the city, and mind you, as you get closer to the center, notice that it does go slightly uphill, kind of like the way Dane did, although Dane was much more pronounced. You do find yourselves at some point in the middle of the city at the convergence of the three rivers. Okay? And this is where you kind of talk to the guards and talk to passersby, get a feel for the lay of the land. The city is massive. It is a gargantuan metropolis of magic and authority, commerce, and just regal influence. There is kind of a color motif of black and silver that any of the structures in the city adopt. Very reminiscent of the way the Black Guard dresses. And you get a feeling that these are kind of the Imperial colors. It's black, silver, or black and gray and silver. There are many black structures. However, the Tower of the Onyx Order is not one of them. It sits on the edge of town, almost exactly southwest of the center of town, and it sort of is surrounded by similarly kind of ominous structures that all seem to surround these shorter towers, surround the central spire, and it looks kind of like this, almost like a large parent tower with many smaller children towers surrounding it, asping up the sky.
Wow.
The sky, mind you, in this part of the city seems to...
Is there like a large glowing eye at top of it?
No, it's not Valandiir. I assure you, this is a different tower. However,
Is it equally evil?
Well, it's the Tower of the Onyx Order, and based on your experiences with these people, they didn't exactly seem the most friendly. You are stopped at the front gate by two imposing, large, perhaps Goliath or half-orc, fully armored guards that are themselves flanked by two black guard each. And they have these huge, intimidating crossed halberds in front of the entrance gate to the Tower of the Onyx. And you see one of the smaller black guard approach your entire caravan. What business is it you have with the Order?
We seek an audience with the Grand Inquisitor.
And Inquisitor? You daft. An Inquisitor does not take visitors. Be on your way.
I think he would take exception to this group of visitors.
Who would this group of visitors be, exactly?
Those would be the Crown Collectors.
Right. Crown Collectors. Let's see just what kind of business you've got with the High Inquisitor. You see him kind of walk into a side chamber, kind of like a guard shack, and see him grab a familiar glowing blue stone wrapped in copper wire mesh, and he begins to speak into it. He's in there for about 2 or 3 minutes, and you just kind of sort of sitting outside and looking at this tower. It's very tall. It's got to be at least 300 to 400 feet tall. It is a massive tower, and the architecture is odd. It doesn't look like the floors, the different layers of the floors, match up based on which side of it you're looking at. Just a very strange geometric kind of configuration that, just as you're having trouble wrapping your mind around where the rooms are in relation to the hallways, guard steps out of the guard shack and looks at his fellow guards and says, "Here to see the High Inquisitor, let them pass. You'll be greeted by the first floor attendant. To sure you state your business. Allow them time to verify your story once you get inside. Understand?"
Understood. Thank you very much for your help.
You are not in the confines of the cozy capital here. This is the Onyx Order. You will be closely watched.
Good sir, I would expect nothing less. And we go on our way.
2 very large, imposing guards, they uncross their halberds, and the heavily barred gate actually opens on its own with seemingly no interference or influence from a lever or mechanism of sorts. Walkway leading into the entrance to the tower is lined with what look like guards, but on closer inspection they appear to be some kind of statue or some kind of permanent decoration, and each one of them looks more imposing than the last. It's definitely clear that this is a position of authority and intimidation and surveillance. Like, you feel, no matter where you look, you feel like someone's watching you. You have the hair on the back of your neck, or the scales on the back of your neck, just kind of stand up to that feeling that you're being watched, no matter where you are. We're greeted at the door by another pair of very heavily armored guards, and they open up the front of the doorway, splits in the middle, and opens to you all. The bottom floor of this tower is completely covered in black stone. They seem to have a similar motif many of the structures in the city within this tower. There are silver trim and kind of accoutrement of the thresholds, but for the most part it's all black stone. Torch sconces are glowing with everlight torches that emit sort of a greenish blue flame that don't seem to need to ever be refueled. And immediately in front of you is a large kind of desk, like a half-moon shaped desk with several people sifting papers, and to your left and to your right are hallways that seem to immediately bend and curve as you are all in a round tower.
You there? You just waiting on us?
Still here.
Okay, it just went eerily quiet.
As it would in the tower of the Onyx Order.
Okay.
It's like you can hear you would think you could hear a pin drop in this place, as it's eerily quiet, but you do hear the sounds of your foot scrapes, and notice the closer you get to this desk, the more you can hear noises happening further away. It's almost like there's a muffling effect to everything unless you're right up on something.
Okay. All right, so where were we instructed to go to?
First level attendant.
First level attendant. Okay. Pardon me, I'm seeking the attendant for this level.
See what looks like a goblin with wide keen ears and long gray hair that sort of both comes from above the ears on the sides of the temples and also from inside the ear itself, kind of dreads downwards and kind of rests on its shoulders. It's got a long, pointed, wrinkly nose with several warts on it. On the top of the nose, a pair of spectacles that are set a little wider than normal, as their eyes are set rather wide. Its little beady red eyes. It looks up. It's in what looks like some kind of a black and silver smart little suit, tailored to a goblin size. Got long, pointed fingernails painted black. Currently holding a silver quill. It's jotting onto silver pages inside of a book. And it just kind of looks up over its glasses at you, and the little beady little red eyes kind of squint. That would be me.
Good afternoon. We've been sent by the front tower, admitted us in for an audience with the High Inquisitor. We are the Crown Collectors.
Crown Collectors? Let me see if you've an appointment with Master Tolstag.
You see him just kind of rifle through a couple pages, which honestly look blank to you. In his silver book. All the pages look like they're made of like aluminum foil. He's just flipping pages, coming through seemingly blank pages, adjusting his glasses, looking up at you all, and he starts to count.
It appears the High Inquisitor was only expecting 4 of you. What do the others have to say?
Oh, these folks are here as additional vouching for our character and to attest to the tasks completed.
I see. One moment, please.
And you see the goblin kind of roll backwards on a wheeled chair. Seems like this is their main mode of transportation. As it spins around in its seat, the wheels remain stationary. It starts to wheel backwards, and you see him kind of disappear into the darkness of this alcove that he's kind of situated in. And a couple moments later, he sort of begins to wheel forward. You see on either side of you these large, fully armored guards. About 6 of them start to approach. Chunk, chunk, the armor clinking as they approach you, and they all surround you from behind.
You are granted entry into the High Inquisitor's office. To mind your manners. It has been known that people disappear for slights against His Excellency's character, or not disrespect his office. Is that clear, Crown Collectors?
Crystal.
I think we all say that simultaneously. Crystal.
You may follow the guard to the gloom.
And guard actually direct you to what looks like this wide fireplace. And as one of the guards steps through, you see him disappear into this kind of like a pulse of bluish green light. Looks very similar to the lights of the torch sconces. Just kind of pulses and swallows him whole. And one of the guards kind of looks at all of you and gestures you forward.
All right.
One by one, you step into the fireplace and you are swallowed by arcane energy that kind of grabs you and rockets you upward. It doesn't feel like the teleportation circle. This feels like a much more localized teleportation. And to save your knees in climbing God knows how many steps it would take, you feel yourself race upward in elevation and land on your feet comfortably. It's not like before where you felt jarred by it. And you see the guard in front of you, and one by one you all kind of gathered into a hallway. Now, this top floor, there are but a few windows, very thin, tall windows. The sky outside It's almost black. You could have sworn it was early evening when you arrived at this facility. Looking out now, it feels like it's nighttime. You see the stars out even, and clouds roiling in angry torrent are all around this tower. And the inside of this tower is even more dimly lit than the bottom floor. You can see portraits of mustachioed men and well-dressed, regal, noble-looking women, all very gothic, dark colors, very, very dour expressions on their faces. Every about 10 feet, you see a partition in the wall where there's one of these portraits, and you can tell that the walls are curved. Everything centering on this massive set of black and silver doors with what looks like helmeted or skulled helmets that kind of face each other and look at each other on either door are a pair of very intimidating, massive, gotta beat Goliath or half-orc, or maybe even minotaurs without horns. Not really sure. They're just huge creatures that are on either side of the door. You see the guard approach, utter something wordlessly, and he's about 20 feet away now, and you still get the sense that sound doesn't really travel very far in this building. Something about the acoustics where it's able to muffle things and kind of diffuse sound as it spreads throughout the air. It's very unsettling. You almost get that inner ear feeling of being in total silence where it's just like, it's like almost like you can hear your own heartbeat. And he kind of opens the door and the guard goes in. You're left there for a few moments. You can hear Atgeir saying, "Right, so I think before he returns and lets us in, we ought to maybe try and get our story straight. What do you think, chaps?"
I think that's a officer idea.
Yeah.
So, what kind of story are we going to present?
I think we should just present them with what happened. We track them down. We
made use of some investigative contacts.
Yes.
We found information as to where they were holed up.
Tracked them down and did what had to be done.
Easy peasy. Does that sound about right to everybody else?
Sounds about right.
As you sit there and converse, you can feel the four of you that have them. You can feel the brands on your neck start to glow. Not glow, but sear with heat. It's not painful. It's like a heavy itch. And it just sort of ripples across your neck. And as you look at each other, those brands, they start to glow a very deep green. Just then, guard returns through those doors, stands beside them, gestures you inside.
All right. Go ahead and enter.
Enter down a long hallway. It feels like it's 50 feet long, and it doesn't seem to make sense because this whole top floor can't be more than 40 feet across. It has to be. You saw it from the outside. It didn't seem that long, but this hallway is massive and trolling. You feel your legs grow heavy the closer and deeper into this structure that you get. You start to see a mural on the wall crawl along as you deeper in you get, that starts with a simple swirls that have been carved into the black rock marble of this chamber, and very soon you see a skull, another skull, in various looks of shock and awe until you see claws grasping at the skulls. And as you get deeper in, you see a dim light, very, very pale, mournful at the end of the hallway, as the murals begin to very slowly undulate. Skulls turn and face you. Just as you go to look at them, almost like they turn away, real quick. Before you look again to the left, another skull turns away. As if this entire hallway is watching you. Enter into a wide open chamber, lined with shelves and arcane devices. Some, you definitely recognize these devices as some sort of scrying tool. Others seem to be message-sending devices, are magical artifacts that seem to be underneath plaques that you can't quite read. There's a wand, looks like it's broken in half. What looks like a mace with a slightly glowing glyphed head with little glyphs all over the front of it and glowing letters, mounted to the wall with another brass plaque underneath it. Trophies or warnings of some kind in this office. As you focus into the middle of this chamber, you see a wide, tall desk. Almost something you would imagine a judge would sit at. High-backed chair, flanked by two individuals that kind of obscure whoever is sitting behind the desk until they stop what they're doing. Turn to face you, part ways. Here before you at the table. Message. Inquisitor. For him back. Well. Welcome, crown collectors. Please, enter. Make yourselves comfortable. You see him kind of rest his armored hand over what looks like some kind of a mushroom-shaped ball of some kind on his desk. He rests it, and from the floor, you see these panels in the ground itself just sort of rise, almost like blocks of wood that were buried under the ground, rise above and allow you places to sit. One for each of you. Please. Guests of mine must be made. Come, make yourselves at home here. With much to discuss. You see him ring a little bell on his desk. An item that seems so out of place here. It does not seem like a place of hospitality, but he rings it nonetheless, and a little side door opens and you see a little, what looks like a halfling, almost goblin in appearance, as it's gaunt and old and just frail, carrying what looks like a large tray with silver saucers and cups and a teapot. Sets it on the side, and he hands each of you a saucer and cup. Do you take it?
Take the saucer and
As
cup.
respectfully as I can.
Yeah, we'll take it to be hospitable, of course. We'll go ahead and take it and thank the servant.
I'll take it, but I'm not going to sit down. I think I'm going to stand.
You see the silver-skulled, helmeted gentleman very close to you and looks at you right in the eyes, and the eye sockets, it seems it's an odd appearance. It almost like this is his face, as the skulled helmet sits very, very close on the skin. There's nowhere for a nose to protrude. The eye sockets seem very, very deep for it to be a mask or a helmet. Regardless, from behind the mask, you see him, you hear him, very, in no uncertain words, say, "Sit down."
Axton, I suggest sit down.
I'm pretty sure the High Inquisitor said, make ourselves at home. I'll choose to stand. Thank you.
The red-skulled guy comes up behind you. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Yay.
See what he gets. Say 22 is contested. Feel this guy's arms on your shoulder behind you. Feel a blade at your back. Do.
Please, no trouble. We're not here to cause any trouble. We're actually here to put an end to some troubles.
I suggest you stop aggravating my lieutenant. Wishes you to sit.
I wasn't. I was following what you said, sir.
You hear the guy
Paxton,
behind you just kind of
please.
whisper in your ear. Smart one, you boy. Who is your toe? In the office of the Hunter now.
Yeah, I'm kind of motioning to you. Sit down.
Fine.
So, if I remember correctly, you owe me some heads. How are the breakers? They fare well still.
The breakers. Let's see, how are they feeling these days, guys? They're a little lighter. They're a little lighter.
Due to your name.
So I think at that, when I say that, we'll start individually pulling out heads.
As you pull out one of the heads, you see the red-skulled Inquisitor kind of back up, then grasp one of them, say, Castellan's head. Mind you, you put his head away without a mask. Hadn't really seen his face yet. He has a very deep, very grotesque scar on his right cheek. Exposes his teeth, muscle under his skin, very Phantom of the Opera-ish. He kind of grasps it in his hand and holds it like he was observing a piece of fruit. Just kind of turns it towards each of you and kind of looks at the jaw so it moves up and down. Just kind of regards it again as you pull out more until you've got all, 5 out?
Mm-hmm.
The for him, Tolstag stands to his feet. Please, let me remove the helmet. I feel it is better for us to speak. Peace. You see him reach for his helmet, pull it off, and a very gaunt, salt and pepper haired, long-eared, goatee-wearing elven man stands before you. Got a heavy scar on one of his eyes that drags from his forehead all the way down to his cheek. Dark circles around his eyes. Oh. You were successful then. Tell me, what trouble was it to acquire these prizes?
Was a fair amount of trouble. Our investigating their hideout did lead to more than one unsuccessful assassination attempt.
Indeed, and you see him eyeing the heads. You're missing one. I was told there was Where is his head?
Whom are you referring to, sir?
There was a dwarf. We were to kill all the breakers and bring heads. There is Gorm.
I believe he was killed before this bargain was struck.
That's so. Well, you are the crown collectors. Where is his crown? Requested all the breakers. See the dwarf here.
When did we do
Before the swamp.
Guys, this is just player-to-player speak. When did we do the dwarf?
We gave his
We killed him.
we gave his head to the
broke into-
witch lady.
Oh, I can barely hear you.
Yeah.
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 So that's before we even made it to Dane.
Gave his head.
Yeah, so his head was already gone.
Wait, didn't we keep it?
No, we gave it to the bog mother. And then she did who knows what with it.
That's right.
That's what you tell him?
No, that we had to give that head as exchange for information to a bog spirit.
You gave a dwarf's head. A bog spirit. You see the three of them just kind of...
Yeah, I know it sounds like a dog ate my homework sort of thing, but...
See what? You see him kind of open a book on his desk. He starts to make somatic motions with his hands, and he says, "Do you care if I tested the truth of your words?"
Go right
I
ahead.
have no objection.
Right, he's gonna cast Zone of Truth. Does anyone resist?
Nope.
No.
Well, just try that again. I assure you, if you do not answer, your words are different. Will die. Here is Dwarf of the Breakers.
The Dwarf of the Breakers is dead. His head was collected by us, but we exchanged that head for some valuable information to a spirit called the Bog Mother.
See, you just kind of lean back, cross his interlock his fingers, and lean on his arms on the arms of his chair. Really? All right. You seem honest folk. Dogma. The business that you have
Business with the Bog Mother?
is what I asked. Not like to repeat myself, Dragonborn.
I'm just trying to figure out how do we word it.
We had received news of a great evil plaguing the culted Styx, and we had heard that the Bog Mother could give us more information about it.
Great evil in Golden Styx is something of a misunderstanding. Golden Styx's evil is the Golden Styx itself. He's a rotting, festering boil in the arse of the Empire's territory. Would do well to avoid it. It is nothing but end of festering evils. That does not concern me. I've told the truth. I am of my word. A head for a head. Wish of your hands. Yes? Well,
I'm sorry, repeat that. Was there a question there?
I said you wish to have your brands removed.
Oh, absolutely.
You
If all
see
is
him
in order.
sort of gesture to one of his Inquisitors, who brings up same rod, black metal they used to brand you in the first place. As you eye it real quick, passive wisdom is able to grant you this. You see the little band symbol on the end of it. And he walks over and hands it over to Tallstag, who rises to his feet, stands before Sazaros. He gestures to touch it to your neck and pulls it away. Such a shame. Throwing away binding contract with such capable souls such as yourselves. Must admit, I did not expect you to survive. Breakers have broken far too many of our agents in the past. But you all just seemed to wipe the floor with them. I wonder this. How was it? You were able to do this so effortlessly. A single one of you died. Makes me wonder. It makes me suspicious. And when I get suspicious, and you see the other two start to converge on either side of your group, as well as the guards that are in the room together, it makes me want to understand how that works. Don't you, Sir Lillian? He looks right at Yuno. Find a business venture? It's a shame to close the books. I'm half of mind to keep you in my service. Think of that.
We had a deal, and a deal with the Empire is binding. If you want our continued help, of course, we would gladly assist the Onyx Order as free and unobligated aids.
You think you're free? You think you're free after I unbrand you? Is free, Cerulean. You know this more than anyone. All are subjects of the Emperor. The Emperor's will shall be done. And if I say his will is for you to serve the Onyx Order under threat of death, that, however, I have grown generous these past few days. Something to do with the thrills of the Ellington Classic. I've teleported there on occasion and viewed a few of these events. I must say, holding captive crown collectors, champions of the team battle, would look bad amongst the nobility who cheers you on. So I shall release you, and you see him wave wand. All of your necks sear with hot pain. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw.
19.
Just Koza, Axton, and 19. Evan.
7.
About Koza.
17 for Koza.
And Yuno got a 17. All right. So, Sazros, you take 2 points of fire damage to your neck. 2. Everyone else takes 1. You immediately feel this sizzling, bubbling relief as the fiery, searing pain dissipates. You immediately clasp your hand to your neck. You can feel there's a bit of carbon on your fingers where your brands used to be, and you all look at each other. You notice that there was a black brand in the shape of the Onyx Order sigil. There is now nothing.
All right, then.
I am a man of my word, as I said. You are now all of my grasp at the very least. And I do believe you are open. You see him snap his fingers, and a servant enters the room from another doorway. As the servant brings a very hefty bag, the Ephraim Tolstag take one of the teacups and start to sip it. I believe you will find it all in order. A job paid well. A job. Being sponsored assassins of the Empire has its benefit. I'm sure you would do well to return here from time to time. Perhaps receive a message from one of my inquisitorial order offering you. The Empire has so many enemies. cannot hope to tackle. It is where you can come in if you wish. Now, consider yourselves free. Now go. Live your lives. Chase this evil cold sticks if you wish. But if we call on you, just remember, to deny us, to deny your day. He takes his helmet, he slips it back on. Your seats start to lower, forcing you to stand to your feet, otherwise you'll fall on your ass. It's really up to you. Guards surround you, and the Inquisitors in front of the desk flank him once again and basically make it so you can't see him. From behind, as you're ushered out of the office, behind visitors, you hear Tolstag one more time. Goodbye, Crown Collector. Happy hunting. Escorted out. There you stand. Foot. The tower of the Onyx Order. Having had your brands removed. Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
26.
26. Your brands are gone. Both physically, magically. There's no trace of magic. There's no, near as you can see with your keen eye, any trickery at play. It seems that, true to his word, really did move curse from your necks. All rest easy. Brands have been nullified.
And how much was the payout from that again?
All right.
Excellent.
As we're walking out, like, God, that guy gives me the willies.
Oh,
Hands you a sack of 350 platinum.
Okay. And I added that to the party fund.
Is what he hands you.
All right.
party fund is getting big.
Yeah. Like, give us all a cut of that. Sorry, I'm part dragon.
He needs his horde.
I need my horde, man.
However, business with the Inquisitors being done, the day is yours, or what's left of it. The city of Havenscrest. Quite call it a shining capital. It is an imposing and intimidating metropolis. Lays before you. What do the Crown Collectors do with their newfound freedom?
Wants to head.
Go commit a crime.
I want to go to some magic shops and see if I can find anything cool.
Guys, do we just want to get the hell out of here and go back to Dane, or...
Yeah.
Of course you do. You are very familiar with the capital. I would say this. Bruno is right at home at the capital. This is where he spends most of his time growing up. The academy is here, so you know this area very well. So go ahead and roll investigation with advantage, because you know your way around the place.
21.
21. Almost within eyesight, you see what looks like within eyesight, looks like a pyramid made of white marble. And there is a very reminiscent of the Luxor casino. It's got a beam of light emitting from the top of it. And a series of statues of robed individuals with various somatic gestures in their hands that line the perimeter of this pyramid. You can see swirls of magical energy of different colors snaking around and spiraling around that beam of light. Ever so gently, it sort of disappears the structure's about 30 feet tall, and you see that this light disappears to nothing about 50 feet above it. And you recognize this as a magic shop that you've
Heading.
been to a couple of times, actually. Head into what looks like a typical magic shop where the inside is larger, but not necessarily much larger, as this is a pretty large structure anyway. And you see behind the desk a familiar sight, that of the halfling wizard, Waldemar Fletcher. He is currently behind his desk. It looks like he's counting coins into a pouch. Behind him are racks and rows of potions and bottles of weird liquids. In just like pretty much every high-end magic shop you'd expect, you see racks of robes and mantles. You see different weapons on the walls. You don't see like great axes or spears, but you do see daggers, and you see like bolts with what looks like glittering tail feathers or shimmering arrowheads. You see wands of every shape and size in a case against the wall, and the whole place has a lot of space to walk around, so everybody's be able to fit in here.
Well,
Nice.
You just see him. He's got a pair of half-moon spectacles and gray floppy hair. He's wearing kind of a deep green robe with silver trim. Just sort of counting what look like silver or platinum. You're not quite sure yet how far away he is. He just kind of looks over his glasses. Well, welcome all of you. Have a look around. Let me know if you need anything. If you'd like to see something a little closer, I have something to explain. And he just sees, he's like,
It's been a while.
Well, hello, dear boy. Why, how long has it been since you've been in my shop? Yes, it's been so long, I believe you've grown a few inches since the last time I saw you, boy. Come here, let me get a better look of you. You see him kind of, he stands up on his little stool, and he's still not quite tall enough to be above your head. He just kind of looks you up and down. He's like, my, the time has been good to you, hasn't it?
Always.
What have you been up to lately? I heard you were down south in the desert
Empire.
making a fool of yourself, looking for some damned artifact.
You know me. I'm just shopping
something
around,
to see you.
seeing
Is
what's
there
out
anything
there.
You're looking for in particular? Well, certainly browse and ask about anything I have in my shop. It's all for sale, at reasonable prices, the best prices in the Empire, I like
That's
to
up
say.
to them.
Anything I can do for your friends?
If you have anything in the musical instrument department, I would be happy to take a look.
I can smell the scent of bard on you. Correct in saying that?
I thought that was brute, but okay.
Happen to have quite a few magical instruments. I am something of a amateur musician myself, and you see him pull what looks like a violin of platinum, but it's hollow. It has no it doesn't have like a solid face or a back. It's almost like if you were to paint the trim of a violin in platinum and then remove all of the wood. It's like a skeleton hollow version of a violin. He pulls a bow out and he starts playing this horrible rendition of a song that you yourself know you can play. So I'm gonna need a wisdom saving throw from you.
Oh no.
Let's see if I don't just like wince in pain.
Roll for cringe.
Yeah.
14, yeah.
14.
Tazros falls asleep. Or asleep. You're out.
I'm out.
Oh my gosh.
The rest of you
I
kind
kinda
of
can't-
clock this happening and realize that if you were any closer, you might have had that same problem too. After a few seconds, Tazros, you just kind of shake yourself awake.
Whoa. Yeah, that was,
See
haunting.
Waldemar just kind of watch what's happened to you and kind of, he's like, that wasn't supposed to happen. Let me try this one. And he puts that away, and he brings out what looks like kind of like an oboe, like a really long wooden instrument. It's got kind of an overly curved mouthpiece that he puts. You hear him bellow into it. This one's a little trickier. He's like, this one's difficult to get something out of it. I'll have to try that again later. But I do also have this lovely hand harp. He pulls out this very small stringed instrument. Looks like almost like a wishbone made out of a brilliant kind of orange bone material. Golden strings. It's only about the size of like an apple. It's like a very small. Plucks it, and as he plucks it, all get this very subtle, warm sensation in your guts and along your spine. All of your joints seem to be, at least the people that are kind of surrounding a few of you are sort of tottering off. You're going to try and steal something, I'm sure. And you feel this warm sensation, and your vision starts to very slightly blur. As you kind of talk to each other about what you're feeling, you notice your speech is a little slurred. Just a bit. Not a whole lot. Something about this harp is making you all feel just really great. Then you see him kind of twist a knob on the end. The feeling slips away. And as that feeling slips away, notice that you're looking at the harp. He actually left a minute ago, even next to it. He is a staff that he has brought before you know. You know, this looks a lot more like your speed. And shows you a staff of polished, almost beechwood, very, very light shade of wood, about 5.5 feet tall, and it's capped with looks like a dragon, it looks like a lion's claw, and the whole thing twists and ends where the wood starts to turn blue. The lion's claw grips a big sapphire. This is a minor staff of spell storing.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
Take it. Feels good in the grip. And the lion's claw in blue reminds you of your own house's sigil. I had this commissioned for an uncle of yours. And get the feeling you know what he's talking about. And why it's available for sale, as this uncle of yours unfortunately perished in something of an accident a few months ago.
Did he already pay for it?
Right around the time that you had your business in the desert, when you heard this had happened. Unfortunately, no. But I'm a friend of House Cerulean. I offered him
And what does it
very
do?
good deal. I'll offer it the same to you. 1,500 gold and it's yours.
I'm sorry, how many levels?
Is a staff of spell storing. It holds 3 levels of spells.
For 1,500 gold. That's
3 levels of spells.
a little high. 1 second.
Oh. Staff of spell storing is expensive.
I mean, what's a rare item cost?
Rare item can go anywhere between. Hang on a second, I can bring that exact up for you. Let's see. It's 2d10 times 1,000. So you're talking in the tens of thousands. Not tens of thousands. Like, for instance, I just rolled A 5 and a 0. This is much more akin the price range of an uncommon item. If albeit a little expensive for an uncommon. I'll let you mull that over. And he kind of sidles over to Maven, actually. And he notices, you see him eyeing your symbol of Pelor. And, kind of clocks your physical stature, how you hold yourself, and says, are you a sister of the sun god?
I am.
Consider yourself a pugilist, so to speak.
Yes, that's one way to put it.
I've got something for you then. You see him rustle around what looks like a chest, pulls out a pair of leather gloves. Says, these are gloves of the pugilist. And, these will give you a little bit of boost to your attacks and any damage you may deal. And if you were to score a particularly powerful attack, inflict additional psychic damage, confuse and bewilder your enemies. Sometimes they don't even know where you're standing, and it gives you a chance to change positions, perhaps bring a surprise attack. Try them on. See what you think.
Okay. So, she puts them on.
They fit great. They're a pair of brown leather fingerless gloves. Got kind of a sort of a triangle of metal straps to the back of the wrist. 3 rivets leading up to the knuckles. A couple of straps along the forearm where the back of the gloves, and they actually fit you perfectly.
Oh, okay. What exactly do they do? Excuse me.
Add a +1 to unarmed attacks and damage rolls, and on an unarmed critical hit, these empowered boxing gloves inflict an additional 1d8 points of psychic damage.
On a critical hit, you said? Okay. And how much would these run me?
Would be... 1 second. This would be 900 gold. Or excuse me, that's a 6. That's not a 9. 600 gold.
I'll take
All right.
them.
I'm gonna send you I'm gonna put the thing in the chat. Just note that it is not 1d4. It is 1d8. I don't know why that wrote that the way it did.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
As he sees Yuno still kind of eyeing this and regarding this item, he sees Koza. Who there? Oh, big sort, and you see that he's just like barely up to your knees. What does a forest-dwelling Firbolg want of a magic shop, may I ask?
Well, if you do ask, I have a bit of a hypothetical for you. If I brought you a set of wooden armor, would you be able to enchant it to be as hard as steel?
Of course. Enchanting, that's what I do. I made all of the items in this shop, and when it says that, you feel the undeniable urge to call bullshit.
Really?
You know that
everything in here.
You know that he damn well did not make everything in here. Never mind him. He's busy worrying about his own affairs. Yes, if you were to bring me armor, I could most certainly enchant it to be as hard as steel. Why wood, may I ask?
Well, it's a little complicated, but to sum it up, it's part of my religion that I use wood.
I'm a naturist. I like to describe myself as something of a thief myself. I like to indulge in the oils and the barefooted unclothingness of the forest dweller. Interesting folk.
I just kind of look at him with like this confused and disgusted look on my face. And I just kind of pat his head and say, "Yeah, we do that."
Well, is there anything anyone else would like to see or fire? You lot seem to be adventurous. May I interest you in some potions? Never too late to buy potions. Always come in handy.
I think that would be a good idea, actually, now that we're here.
Sure. Let's see what we got.
Standard fare. He's got an entire glass cabinet of a lazy Susan you can spin from the top, and he can. There's potions of healing, greater healing, superior healing, and supreme healing.
How much are the greater healing?
Greater healing. Right.
I know they're going to be expensive.
They are. Let's see here. Greater healing? Those are 300 gold apiece.
And how much do they offer?
I mean, what do? They do 44 plus 4. Or I also allow 44 plus your con modifier if it's greater, which I doubt anybody here has a 20 in con.
No. You said they're 300 apiece? Yeah, fuck that. What's a regular healing potion? I'll take 2 of those. I will put 10 platinum on the table.
4,000. I'd like it even more.
Oh, what do you think? Like it? $1,000.
17.
Make a persuasion check.
I tell you what, if you can add 2 more levels of spell storing in there, I'll give you
1,100, and we've got a deal.
1,250.
Well, unfortunately, it's already enchanted, and I'd have to destroy it in order to change the
1,100.
enchantment, and then that would incur all sorts of costs.
I'll take it.
And how it works with enchanted items, it's sort of locked in. You know what I mean? 1,100. Shake on it. And he extends his little hand towards you. It's good to see this back in the hands of a Cerulean, anyway. He puts the 700 gold into a sack, hands you the staff of spells, the lesser staff of spells storing. Well, that certainly is a pleasure. Is there anything anybody else would like while you're here?
I would like to peruse your cloaks.
Oh, well, we have several cloaks. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Just something that may need to help me dodge out of the attacks that have been wreaking havoc on my armor.
Ah, you're looking for perhaps a cloak of shadow or blurring, or maybe even a cloak of displacement, right? Ah.
Yes.
Happen to have.
I know that they're hard to come by.
Here. It's not cheap, though.
Oh, really?
Definitely.
Oh.
He pulls a cloak out with it's black and looks like it could reach the floor. It doesn't have a hood. It ties with what look like tendrils that are found on the back of displacer beasts. And there are another set of tendrils that sort of rest down the front. This lovely beauty was actually procured by me on something of a game of cards, but it definitely works, and it will do exactly what you need. It allows you to kind of dodge out of the way of certain melee attacks, but this...
You cut out for a second, sorry.
Yes, the cloak
Checking
will
in
allow
now.
you to sort of dodge out of the way and keep yourself out of danger if need be. Like I said, it's not cheap. It's 7,000 gold pieces. But
Yikes.
definitely
I don't
worth
have
the
any
money.
close to that. I didn't know it was going to be so expensive.
It's a rare item. Rare items are quite pricey. It's for the faint of heart or the faint of pocketbook. But it'll be here if you wish to return for it, of course.
Baronor would like to know if there's some kind of like cloak of elven kind or something.
Cloak of
Similar.
elven kind. Tell.
Mm-hmm.
Seems a bit racist, but I'll look in my stores. 1 second while I look it up on D&D Beyond. Aha. Uncommon. Say that one was. Okay. Yeah, he's got one. We'll say that one's also 600 gold. It's an uncommon item. Might wear
Okay.
this cloak with its hood up. Wisdom checks made to see you have disadvantage, and you have advantage on stealth checks made to hide. As the cloak's color shifts to camouflage you. Pulling the hood up or down requires an action. 600 gold. Does require attunement. I don't know how many items he has that requires attunement, but just to refresh everybody's memory, I allow 2 armor and 2 AC affecting items, which also include things that would aid you in getting hit, like the cloak of displacement, and then 3 items that are not armor related, weapons or jewelry, things like that. That's it. The exception is if it doesn't require attunement, then you don't need to count it against your allotted amount.
No. Now, my armor, the armor of the Arden Knight, that does not require attunement, correct?
That is,
Okay. Anthem's Edge
yeah,
does,
Anthem's Edge
but
does. The
the
armor
mask
is good
and
to
the
go.
armor. Okay.
That's such.
Oh yes, Baronor will take the
Yeah,
cloak.
600 gold.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any glamored or disguise granting cloaks or armor?
Oh yes, of course. I do have armor of glamoring armor, and you see him bring you over to a rack of exorbitantly fancy clothing. Now you were at Fisker and Sons and were beguiled with the arrangement of rainbow-like colors. This puts them all to shame because not only is this stuff every color under the sun, but some of it glitters, some of it shines, some of it warbles like an oily on water effect. And let me see, get you a price because it definitely have it because this is Havenscrest and they have everything. All right, can you wear studded leather?
Can.
Okey-doke. It is a rare item.
Yeah.
This one's gonna cost you 4,000 gold.
Yikes.
Dang.
It does add a +1 to your AC. And if you speak the command word, you can assume the appearance of a normal set of clothing or some other kind of armor. You decide what it looks like. Color, style, accessories, and it lasts until you use the property again or you remove the armor.
Yep. The problem is that's Lord, we could drain the entire party fund,
it's
still couldn't
pricey.
afford it.
Yeah.
Your items, man.
Yeah. What about, like, say, a cloak of many fashions?
Of many fashions or things?
I think it's a cloak of many fashions that you can change the appearance of the cloak.
Okay, While wearing this cloak, you can use a bonus action to change the style, color, and apparent quality of the garment. The cloak's weight doesn't change, regardless of the appearance. The cloak can't be anything but the cloak. The cloak can duplicate the appearance of other magic cloaks. It doesn't gain their magical properties. This is a common item. Common items are super cheap. So, yeah, you can buy that for 10 gold.
It's old American. Or Draconian.
He's got one of those. He goes to ask what color you want it in, but then he realizes it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
It does,
matter.
however,
It's
hand it to
whatever
you,
I
and it
want.
kind of looks like a shimmery, somewhat see-through silver silk. As soon as you don it and put it on, it looks like it solidifies, like you can't really see through it anymore, and it starts to like change in color, like I said, like an oil and water. Almost like it doesn't know what to become yet because you haven't thought of anything yet.
So can it just change color?
Change color. It can change style. It can have patterns. It can make it look like the galaxy, or it can make it look like it's made of rock.
Could he make it look like a pair of silver dragon wings?
It would be a cloak, but it would be a cloak in the shape of two wings, yeah.
Cool.
So, at this moment, it looks like Zazaros has two shoulder-to-floor length silver folded dragon wings. Except they kind of billow without the weight and heft of leather dragon wings.
Wait, yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
Alright, well,
You wouldn't happen to have a what's it called? The sack to help me carry all my weapons.
you're looking for a bag of holding.
Or you're looking for the haversack, the handy
A
haversack.
haversack, yeah, that's right.
Haversack. There are a series of pockets. Each item has to be able to fit into the mouth of each pocket. You know what I mean? You couldn't put say a cask of ale into one of the pockets because you have to fit the cask into the pocket. Has a central pouch and two side pouches, each of which is extra-dimensional space. Each side pouch can hold 20 pounds of material, not exceeding a volume of 2 cubic feet. The large central pouch can hold up to 8 cubic feet, or 80 pounds of material. So, 8 cubic feet, it could open up to about 2.5 feet wide. Middle. It always weighs 5 pounds regardless of its contents. And it's normal things like you can't, if you put weapons inside of it and it pierces the side of the bag, it'll destroy it. It is a rare item. Oh yeah.
That's rare too.
So we're gonna price the handy haversack at yikes, 13,000.
Holy
7 and a
Jesus.
9. And just to keep everybody honest, I will post this magic item price table that I have, so that you don't think I'm full of crap.
We're working for peanuts, apparently. The economy in this area is so fudged up.
I thought the handy haversack was not going to be a rare item. I thought it was going to be like uncommon or something like that. Oh damn.
Either that or we just need a better agent.
Or you could, I don't know, maybe search jobs. That's something that you guys really haven't done much of, is search out work for specific pay.
Yeah.
Well,
we've been kind of forced into.
I mean, a bag of
we kinda-
situation right now.
It's pretty cheap.
well, that and we've had the classic.
Handy haversack is a rare item.
That's coming to a close very soon.
But
Yeah.
because
And that's
artificer can make that.
so
That's
weird
too.
that a handy haversack is
Yeah.
rare, but a bag of holding is not. And a bag of holding holds more, doesn't it? Am I not really reading that right?
It does, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, let me. I'll say that he's got Bag of holding. That is an uncommon item. Which you can own a bag of holding for 400 gold, Barry.
Yeah, I might as well.
Interior space, considerably larger than its outside dimensions. It's 2 feet in diameter at the mouth and 4 feet deep. So anything you put in there has to be less than 4 feet tall. So the halberd is no-go. I would say your greatsword is no-go. Your javelins, would say...
Basically all your
javelins
weapons.
may fit, but I would definitely consider corking the end of them so they don't pierce the bag and ruin it. To you.
No.
If you're looking for something for your javelins or something like that, it's probably like one of those like quivers. There's a specific quiver that you can get that can hold like, a bajillion arrows and about 24 javelins.
Yeah, if there's a quiver like that, I'll try
There's-
something like that.
It's
There's nothing
insanely
in
expensive
here
though.
that holds javelins. This is not a weapon shop. It is a magic store. They don't have anything like
right.
that. But definitely could shop around.
Maybe shop around some other time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good for now. I'll buy some healing
Be a
potions
pot.
though, actually.
These you want.
As many as I want.
As many as you can afford. Got a whole shitload of them.
Cool.
It's
I'll take
150
3.
gold.
I will do the
You,
same.
150 gold.
Alright.
If there's nothing else, you make your way out of the establishment, and Atgear sidles up to Koza. Says, "Hey, listen up. Here, come here. I know you had your eye on this, and while he was busy over selling the staff or rod or whatever he sold to I swiped this." And he hands you a potion of greater healing.
Edgear,
What? You look like you needed it.
I appreciate it, but we do not steal. Well, I don't
There's
steal.
no we in this category. It's more like you kind of look at me judgingly, but you take the potion anyway because you know you're gonna need it. And it's the right thing to do.
I'm not one to turn down a gift. Thank you. And I take the greater healing potion.
And as that happens, Drea kind of joins the group. It looks like she kind of went for a stroll down the street. She picked up a couple of dry goods. Looks like she's got some new jerky and things like that. You all stand thoroughfare, having bought your magical items, looking forward to what you wish to do next. We're going to end the session.
Woohoo!
Oh.
So, looks like we'll all be meeting again on the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. And anticipation of the unraveling, which will definitely something to look forward to. I've got quite a few puzzly thingies to entertain all of you. And don't worry, even though this is a magical thing, everyone's going to have something to do, I promise. And that's definitely on the 30th. So, everybody enjoy your 2 weeks off. That was a nice little sort of down session. It was kind of good to get the business out of the way. Feels like that kind of happens every 5 or 6 sessions. It's we have to kind of hash out the money and get that all straightened out. So now you guys have some walking around money that you can kind of, if you wish to do that at the beginning of that session and maybe look around for some stuff, since we didn't have a whole lot of time at the end of the session to do that. Certainly do. But until next time, thanks for showing up, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
We got our brands off! Yay!
Woohoo.
All right.
Oh, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Joe, my ring of revivification, is that a rare item?
No. That is a very rare item. It doesn't
Very rare,
require
okay.
equipment. You know why it's a very rare
Very
item?
good.
Because
Why is that?
one in the whole world, because the Bog Mother made it for you.
Ooh,
Very
If
nice.
you think about it.
fancy.
Unless she just kind of twists little twigs into rings, just passes them out to every dude she meets.
Have this ring. Have this
I
ring.
don't
Does
know.
everyone like it?
Yeah, that's what she told me too. Me
Alright, everybody,
too.
we'll see you in a couple weeks.
So yeah.
Bye-bye!
Bye.